Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with James Farley,
Hello.
Sean Bell,
Hello.
and Matt Murray.
Hello.
We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers. This week they are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights for Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Thomas, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Tri-State, Jack Oven, Jonathan Edwards, No Longer a Freeloader, and Grey Dragon Claw. They're the Full Nels crew. They do everything for you. If you've not paid, if you're not signed up to our Patreon, then you should really thank this lot because they're covering your ass.
When Bryan Adams sang "Everything I Do It for You," that's the Full Nels crew.
That's the motto. That's the full Nels motto.
Yeah.
When Bryan Adams also sang "Stop listening for free," these guys don't get paid for this. Only through Patreon. We should support them. Then maybe take that advice from Bryan Adams, eh?
Was that a B-side?
It was a fucking hit, boy.
Banger.
That was a Mel C collab. That was a Mel C one. It's a great song.
Patreon.com/TCGS if you'd like to support what we do. Of course, we're joking. We appreciate anyone that signs up to Patreon, and if you don't, please tell people we're here. It's nice to spread the word. It's how people find out about us. We're about to be award winning. Get in there before that happens and we go fucking mainstream. All right.
So when I saw Coldplay the week that Yellow came out, you can have that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to this 3 hours before the award. So
I snuck in just on episode 424. You know,
my own back.
They were just getting started.
Before Matt got his hair done.
No, everyone has to promise not to mention that, and then new listeners are like, "Who's this guy with the hair?"
Mention it up until that moment.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no, because what if they go back? Oh no, actually, go back and listen to the old ones and see if everyone no hair. We should just not acknowledge that.
Fly back out to Turkey and go take it out. I haven't heard it before.
Too much admin, too much upkeep. always hair.
Quite a show last week, and the feedback form has been buzzing.
It's absolutely nuts. Like, apologies in advance if you've written in statistically we've not been able to include it. It was absolutely mental.
It was crazy. It's always the ones you don't expect. Like, there are a few where you come away and go, "That was a banger. This is going to get loads of feedback," or "That wasn't up to our standards. We're going to get slaughtered for that." Nothing. And then what I thought was a decent show, but nothing special.
I don't know. I mean, I came away from that last week just thinking that was odd. Like, I just thought that was an odd one. But you know.
Really. All right, fair enough. Feedback, Matthew.
Yes. Orman Ingenious Hairy Bikers Premium Non-Stick 4-piece sausage roll maker has messaged us.
Okay, cool.
I started listening from episode 001 in October 2023 and have now reached episode 422, The Triumphant Return of Big Dick. 422 episodes in 12 months. I've listened through console releases, a console being binned off, Stadia, a global pandemic, TCGS babies being born, the death of E3, and insanity of a £700 PS5 Pro with no disc drive or a stand included. I've generously assumed a runtime of 2.5 hours on average per episode, which means in the last year I was to 1,055 hours of TCGS,
Jesus.
or 43.958 days. Yes, I do a lot of driving for my work and I do a lot of dog walking, and yes, it's safe to say TCGS now feels like a huge part of my life. Thank you, Dave, James, Matt, and Sean, names in alphabetical order, not based on favourites. Obviously, James Farley is my favourite, as well as those guests over those 422 episodes. I've done my Twitch Prime sub, joined the Discord. I will do Patreon when I can afford to do so. Sorry for being a freeloader, but I wanted to say how great this podcast has been through difficult times this year. And I hope you all read this, whether it is mentioned on the show or not. Thank you. For what it's worth, Matt, I think you should carry on with your terrible jokes. Orman.
Orman is
You really ruined it at the end there.
Allman's been tweeting us as he's been going along, and it's been interesting to read.
Yeah,
and they're also moving on to Star Calls now, which is good.
Yeah, I saw that. Which is nice.
Yeah, you were getting corrected
Sorry
on
about
your
that.
Star Wars knowledge again. All these years later, you're still getting corrected on Star Wars knowledge.
That's
James.
what the pinned tweets were for. But I guess nobody uses
Yeah, but
Twitter
they
anymore.
don't
So
exist.
Well, just pin it on Blue Sky, mate. Pin it on Blue Sky.
Everyone will see it.
Yeah, thanks all, man. One question: what was your favourite episode? I cannot believe you have not got a running top 5. So please message in next week with what your favourite episode was.
But surely
And
listening to them all like that, it's all just a blur.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
you just get
mess.
so. It must just be like white noise after about 10.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how many you listen to with you on, Matt. I would also like to know
Absolutely
what
uncalled
podcast-
for.
Yeah,
That was.
No, it was a bit, wasn't it?
Absolute prick.
Savage.
came out of nowhere.
Just having a little bit of a come on, mate,
It's
a little
my,
bit
it's
of a
my
jab.
work that's going to win us an award this week, David. Actually,
I don't know.
well, no, because I
I don't know,
upload
I
it most of the time.
It's true.
That's
So technically, I'm yours.
I was about to say, wasn't most of the clips the episodes you weren't on? It was like,
No, that was the previous year. He did me dirty. Like, oh, which one is Matt on? Let's not make that one again. No.
I also would like to know what podcast you're using to fill the TCGS void at this point.
That's true. Yeah, we can do now.
Yeah, what are you moving on to?
Yeah.
That's what if it's really dark? Then we're like, oh, yeah, I kind of see the connection
Yeah,
there.
I'm going to check out this Joe Rogan guy.
Oh.
Got it.
Adam Barth has messaged on episode 423 after discussion on so-called fine to flush wet wipes. Matt is heard repeatedly saying they found a loophole. So what I wanted to put on the spreadsheet, Matt, can you confirm whether you were riffing on a loophole, some kind of new term for long turd, or loop and hole, both being a slang for anus? And finally, could Matt confirm whether this was a pun or a quip? Cheers. Yeah, I saw some people mention this, and no, it was not a pun. It was nothing to do with poles or loops or holes or poops. There was no pun or quips. It was just some
He's
words.
doing it again.
So why-
He's doing it again?
If that's the
You
case,
can't-
why did you say it so many times? Like,
I can't. I have to listen back to it. Maybe I was saying up a joke that I never actually got to finish.
Well, I didn't say it. I didn't
That's
say
often
it
how
too
it
many
works.
times. Maybe I said that was the ope.
Look,
And,
people can't just say that was a pun, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. You're like, well, it fucking was, Matt. It's like, no, what I'm telling you, it wasn't. Trust me.
Why did
It wasn't
you say
a pun.
loophole so many times then?
Because I can't remember now, but I was probably setting up a joke which I never got to finish. That's often how.
Okay, it's
so it was-
always
it was
that
like-
he
so it's
never
like
got to
half a
finish
quip.
joke. Yeah. He's-
Just to be clear, if you've ever been
That
like,
was a
listening to
quip.
me and thinking, sure, he's not making any sense, I was setting something up. I didn't.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I didn't finish it.
You
yeah.
wankers, yeah. That was either a quit or a put. That didn't get to finish either one. So one of them. I don't know. I don't know what that was. And for everyone who messaged, it wasn't
He's
a pun.
sweating. He's
It is hot in
sweating.
here.
For those of
Matt,
you
are
that
you-
can't see the video version, he's
I'm wearing a vest
sweating at the
actually.
moment.
Pretty stupid, really. Given yes, James.
I mean, you're talking about setting stuff up. Do you sometimes set up jokes then that are going to come off like later, like several episodes down the line?
No,
Is that-
God no.
No,
I
he's
wish I
not got
was
that
that clever. I wish I was that clever. That'd be great.
Yeah, I
No.
wish you were that clever as well.
Yeah.
Do you ever
We
do that?
always
Where
are.
you come away from a conversation and you realise you told half an anecdote, and then someone said something else, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that reminds me," and then you just went off on something else, and they're like, "Oh
I
shit, I
do
never finished
remember.
that." So they heard me tell a story about me walking into the bank, and then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, the other day I was chatting to there was this bloke at work and we were talking about exactly that. And when you sort of mind gets like sort of distracted by some next bit of feedback, Matt?
Anyway, it wasn't a pun. I just said some words. I'm not sure. Leon, hearing you talk about cool alarm clocks reminded me of the one I had as a kid that I actually miss. The base was a landing pad, and it came with a small helicopter that would ping off and fly around the room when the alarm went. To turn it off, you had to find where the heli had landed and place it back on its base. I ended up losing the power supply and tried plugging in that one-way to... Hang on. I ended up losing the power supply and tried plugging in one that was way too strong and it melted the entire screen. Good memories though. Love the pod. I'm listening every week since Jan this year and it almost made me crash my car while laughing, particularly the episode that started with James's audio nightmare.
Which one was that?
Yeah, it doesn't narrow it down. Helicopter,
clocks
that
did you
sounds
have as
fucking
a kid?
class. That sounds
What-
great.
what-
That does sound like
which
good fun.
alarm clocks did you have as a kid that you keep remembering? Because there are two that really stick out to me, and it makes me like when you see them again, it makes you feel sick. One of them was the pyramid one. That it was a talking alarm clock that would
Oh,
go,
right.
"Get up now!" If you put it on sleep mode too many times,
Okay.
it'd start making gun noises. The other one was the Wallace and Gromit one, where you had to push his slipper to set the alarm.
Oh, that's nice.
Seriously, Google Wallace and Gromit alarm clock. When I saw it, I was like, I haven't thought about this fucking plastic monstrosity for years, and here it is now. It's
I think I recognise that actually.
Yes,
I didn't
everyone
have it.
recognised
I didn't have it because
No, but it was quite a popular item, Matthew.
50
So-
quid
and I
used
had
on
one.
eBay. What the fucking?
God damn.
Well, it's not going to be new, is it?
But I'm saying it's 50 quid used, like brand new. Must be.
Naylor Ben in the chat has just said there's been so many emails where people say I nearly crashed my car laughing. How many people are dead but we don't get to hear from?
Oh, yeah, the listener figures have gone down. They have
Great,
gone
great
down.
question. Yeah.
Matt, what
We'll never
sort of
know.
alarm clock did you have?
No,
Did you
I don't remember any alarm clocks, which I'm not sure what that means. Like, did my parents not give me good ones? Do I have a bad memory? Yes, the latter for sure. I don't remember any famous alarm clocks, I'm afraid, no.
Oh, I know what
I was-
James had. I guess what one you had, James?
Go on.
A grandfather clock in the West Wing of the Canterbury.
Granddad's clock is
I mean,
waking me
actually-
up again, mother!
I never had an alarm clock because I was an early riser.
Yeah, because
And
the butler
so-
got you up.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh, the worst time he woke me up was when the peasant came to tune the alarm clock. He was getting all of the little cogs right, and I couldn't sleep in my bed.
You
Sean,
taking that, James?
You finished? It's
You
like,
accepting that?
He's got no comeback. It's all true.
I know.
I know,
I know.
this is the problem. It's uncanny. Like
Yeah.
the way that David does that. It's a bit
How
upsetting.
comes you sound more sarcastic when you're not being sarcastic, but when you try to be sarcastic, it just sounds shit? It sounds like Harry trying to be sarcastic.
Well, Chen
What's
says
going
that everything that comes out of my mouth sounds like sarcasm. So it's like,
on? It does.
Yeah,
It
like,
certainly
I do.
does. Getting a bit spicy up in here tonight.
that was a weird experience actually when I got married because it was all
right,
in
yeah.
a foreign
I,
language.
I still think you should have a renewal of vows.
Yeah.
Oh,
it,
mate.
Okay.
Stag do. Stag
Stag
do.
do.
Stag do.
Yeah, that would be
stag do,
absolutely
stag
Proper
mental.
wedding
Come
and a
on.
stag.
That'd be good.
Because I haven't got
we
any
are-
friends left who are going to get married now. So
Well,
this
end
is
the
it.
sentence.
This is
Yeah, it's true. Oh,
what?
okay. Was that a dig at someone else on the show, Sean?
Oh shit! Sorry.
You've really got to
Sorry.
watch what you say. You've really got to watch. You're quite sensitive at the moment.
oh dear.
Shit, Sean, that's
Not
twice.
again after last
2
week.
years in a row.
We
2
need to start
weeks in a
keeping
row.
a count. You know this.
What the hell, Sean? What have I done?
Listen, we are a video games podcast, and we will get
wouldn't
to
know
that. We will get to that.
You would
okay?
not know it.
All right. Okay,
No.
let's next bit of feedback. Oh no,
I'm
you had a
genuinely
clock.
sorry,
didn't
Matt.
you?
That was fully
You had a clock. You had a clock, did you? Matt is getting it tonight, which is going to be the episode title.
I think you had a clock works, mate. Go on.
You had a clock, didn't you, Sean?
No, I was always a digital wristwatch kid, so I think if I ever needed an alarm, I just used that.
Okay.
Wow.
Next bit of feedback.
Yes, where was it? Okay, the investigator. On last week's show, around the 43-minute mark, when Sean was saying of the Disco Elysium follow-ups that we need to let it go, David joked it was a good song. Be honest, had Matt made that joke, would you have been kind to him about it? It's no better than that Monopoly gag you raked him over the coals for about 20 minutes prior.
Oh, it's better. No, it's better
Team
than
Nazi
that
up.
one. No, it's bad. That Let It Go one was a bad joke, and fair enough, you could have a go at me by that for that. Like,
Yeah, I heard you say it,
please.
and I was like, have I got the energy to even like argue this?
Yeah, no, it was,
Like,
but it was shit. It was shit. I accept that.
fucking
It wasn't as
dreadful.
bad as the Monopoly gag. It wasn't as bad as the
I was
Monopoly
a
gag.
lot younger then. It was how many years ago was that? That was ages ago, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly.
2 years ago.
Well, younger then. Different man, different person. Should we move on?
Yeah, please.
Jizzomancer has got back in touch. One of our faves, Jizzomancer.
Okay, whose all is this?
Whose all is this?
Well, that's what I love is,
Ask
last week
James Farley.
There was the chat about like, oh, could people impersonate other people on the forum? And then it's like, oh well, here's Jizzomancer.
This might be the real Jizzomancer. This might be
That's
someone
true,
pretending to
you
be
never
him
know.
or them. Can someone please explain how Matt managed to pronounce?
Pronounce.
You know what? I was reading this email. I was like, I'm going to get it right first time, and I fucked it at the first. Okay, should we start again? Jizzomancer, can someone please explain how Matt managed to pronounce a word wrong despite having the correct pronunciation given to him immediately afterwards in the same email? Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. And while I'm thinking about it, why did he then read out the bit telling him how to pronounce it, but now pronouncing it correctly, thus demonstrating that he'd pronounced it wrong as a result of choosing to ignore the bit telling him how to pronounce it correctly in the first place?
That was pretty good, Matt. There was only one or two wrong there.
I read the emails, I saw it, and then afterwards in
Back
brackets.
into that primary school classroom, aren't we? Every now
Right.
and then we slip back into. Well done, Matthew.
I read the email as I saw it. I read it as I sees it, and afterwards it said in brackets, here's how you pronounce it.
So I clicks it.
Yeah, so I clicked it. What's wrong with that? I read it as it was read, and it was actually pronounced this way, and then I explained how it's pronounced. Pronounced.
Next bit of feedback.
Yes, Greg Simeon. Last week's podcast started and ending with Matt proposing innovations that use Velcro, a T-suggest jumper with replaceable words, and switchable pockets for handhelds. As someone who still wears Velcro shoes well into his 40s, I applaud this. Keep flying your Velcro flag, Matt. I mean, they're two great ideas, basically.
And I don't do Velcro shoes, but I, as you know, I'm a big fan of the old no tie laces because I just realised why you don't need to tie laces anymore. You're not in the
So
army.
what are no tie
You're not-
laces?
They're just like elastic ones.
No,
You just put your-
no,
What? Why not?
No,
Why not?
No.
What's
Do
the
your
fucking-
laces up.
Why? You don't have to.
Because.
You don't
What's
have to.
what's the problem with doing it though? It's like
annoying.
it takes seconds.
It's annoying.
It's not annoying. You do
fucking
it and
is.
you feel cool because it's like I did a knot. That's why I hate people. I hate people who are like, "Oh my god, you do laces and you do a double knot." Yeah, I do a double.
Yes,
knot.
I do a double knot. Yeah.
If you're not, and you got to do a double knot.
Can't be too careful, can you? These days?
Otherwise,
You've
it's
got
going to
do a
come
double knot.
undone all the time. Yeah, but these are Nike people, the sort of people that live in the UK but call it Nike. Like, I just shut up. No, you're supposed to. If you tuck them in, and I don't want to tuck them in. It's feeling that between your foot and the sole.
Yeah, it's horrible that, isn't it? Like this.
Yeah, I hate that.
I'm
do
just
the
saying,
laces up
science has come up with ways for you to not have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I do like a Van slip-on if I can't be bothered, but generally it's lace up those trainers, boy.
Yeah, I do. Velcro, you can't get away with Velcro.
No, Velcro's a step too far. I don't think I could do Velcro shoes.
I mean,
I'm-
you're slagging off
getting
Greg
ready
Simeon
for
now.
You getting ready for the awards on Wednesday, laughing at us doing our laces up as you flap down the Velcro.
on his Gola trainers.
I got to kick my shoes off after a long day at work.
It's like having a Velcro wallet as an adult, isn't it? You just,
It's like having a Velcro one. Oh god, aren't we being judgmental this week? There's a guy listening to this with Velcro trainers and a Velcro wallet, and that wallet's got a chain up to his belt hoop, and he's crying now.
Yeah,
crying.
they're actually listening to it as they're going up to a counter at a shop. Ridiculous. Should we move on? Mickey
Please.
Mellon
Did you
Baller.
leave that bit at the end there. I don't know where that bit come from.
Just Mickey Mellon Baller. Feedback for Sean.
Oh, good.
Saying spoiler a millisecond before giving a spoiler isn't sufficient notice. By some coincidence, I'd also started playing God of War for the first time, and around the same time Sean had started playing it. Excellent, I thought. Perfect timing. I can enjoy playing it and hearing Sean's thoughts as he experiences it for the first time too. Now I'm just going to be tense and having to listen with my finger hovering over the skip button whenever Sean speaks. It's not quite as bad as when the back page guys reach to spoil someone dying in Final Fantasy 7. No.
Yep.
Which? Yeah, 7. That looks so weird.
I
For me,
forgot you can't do Roman numerals.
well,
Yeah,
I just had
forgot
to
about
quickly
that.
do some maths in my head, but it did look wrong. It just looked wrong. So, yeah, Sports Someone Dying in Final Fantasy 7 for me,
Maths,
though.
5 plus 1 plus 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like you minus it, don't you? Is it? If
The
it
ones are before the...
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
They're before
yeah.
the number.
well, anyway,
But
just,
these ones are after the number.
well, yeah, I
Yeah.
realise that now, but let's just use real numbers. Why we're not in Roman times anymore? Why are we doing this?
Matt, have you been confused when you've been playing Final Fantasy 7 like recently?
No, I just don't have to like quickly spell it out, and also I just say Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth without saying, "Oh, are the numbers after the V or are they before the V?" Can we get back onto this, please?
Yeah.
It's not quite as bad as when the back page goes. Recent Sports Someone Dying in Final Fantasy 7 for me, though, just as I was getting around to playing that. Keep up the excellent podcast. Feels like you're all in great form right now, and I'm really enjoying the show. Apart from Shawn, who's a twat.
It doesn't say that.
Sorry, I added that last bit.
Stop editorializing. I can't tell if this is a joke or not.
It's a joke, isn't
It's
it?
gotta be a
Gotta
joke.
be, right? Because
Yeah.
the spoiler was the Fort of Dragon. That was the
Oh.
that was the
Yeah,
bit I
that
was like,
has
oh,
ruined
spoiler.
it, though. For...
And also, yeah, anyone who doesn't know about Redacted dying in Final Fantasy VII at this point, surely that's got to be.
I mean, it's the most famous death in video games history that
Yeah.
I think everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what?
Yeah,
I'm
but
going to
none of
say
you
it
got the
right
balls
now.
to say it, though.
I'm gonna say
he
it
has
right
got the
now.
No, don't.
Don't say it.
Don't. I ain't about that life. I'm not about that life. I will say, when you said that about God of War, I remember thinking at the time, I don't even remember that.
Well,
bit.
that's yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, dragon.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Matt, it's Nottingham Forest 1, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I've
0.
seen the
Next
score, don't worry
bit of
about it.
feedback, please. Yeah.
Don't
No,
need
that's
to
fine.
update me.
No.
I
Just
see
no,
the score.
It was for the listeners more.
Yeah, they don't care. No, I've seen it, so it
That's
doesn't
fair,
matter.
okay,
Waste,
right,
that's
go on.
bad radio, actually, in a way. Rocket Man 76. I've been having a tough few
Not
months.
on the radio. We're not on the
Right.
radio.
Bad
Man's been having a
podcasting.
tough few months.
Yeah, David.
Oh, sorry, Rocket Man.
Have some
Sorry,
respect,
I'm
for fuck's sake.
Disrespectful, and he's a full Nels.
Yeah,
member, which
do you want
makes
to
him
apologise now?
inherently more valuable?
Sean, why are you white knighting Rocket Man 76?
Because he says he's having a rough time.
All right, sorry.
Come on, let the games begin. Go on, read it, Matt.
What does that mean, James?
He's got another bet with someone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got another bet with
Ian, show yourselves in the chat. Rocket Man 76, can we focus on this, please? I've been having a tough few months. My youngest left home in the summer to go to university. My oldest left home 2 years ago, and both are thousands of miles away. We used to regularly play video games all together, and suddenly the house feels very empty. My wife doesn't like video games, and so it was very much something for me and the kids to enjoy together as our thing. I'm also dealing with a shit time at work, which is stressing me out and leading to headaches and worry. Throughout all of this, your regular dose of infectious humour, either the weekly podcasts or monthly bonus shows, have been a much welcome, anticipated way of letting me switch off. Thank you all and all your great guests for making life better. It really means a lot.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
having
awesome to hear.
Having a
No,
shine
it's
to, I don't know. I'm
appreciated.
going to cope when Isaac eventually leaves in 30
Yeah, well, judging by the housing market, he won't.
Yeah.
So I can't see that happening. Yeah, shit, man. We've said it time and time again, but we also use this show as a bit of a crutch and a way to get through tough things. So it's good to hear that our listeners do too. So we hope things improve for you and that you don't cancel your subscription to the Patreon. Was that insensitive?
No, I think that's
A little
fine.
bit. So, yeah, I'm sorry you're having a bad time at work, Rocket Man 76, but don't give up because then you can't pay us.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it all falls apart. So
Think about your responsibilities here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's fine. It's fine.
Remember, Rocket Man 76 will stop. We will fucking stop.
will.
Okay.
Trashback UK and others has messaged, great show, but my heart sank a little when the closing music was the same as the intro. I like the longer one as it gave me time to process the episode a little and gave me lots of time to stop or switch into the next podcast. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, we got like 5 or 6 people wrote in.
Look, I thought I'd
sulking
switch
that
it
we
up,
come
see if
back.
it'll notice, and sometimes like people do notice. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to do whatever we fancy now. Maybe long one week, maybe short the next.
Time
Keep 'em
to
guessing.
process
Maybe
the episode.
maybe just a random band that we can get, an unsigned band. Do you know that's what we did on Joypod for the first 10 episodes?
Oh, yeah.
Genuinely, we used to get
What are you saying?
unsigned bands to send in their music, and we would choose the best ones and play them. It turns out there wasn't a lot of good music about.
Tough
we
side,
stopped
tough
doing
bit.
it, but that's-
Not do a weekend confirmed thing then, and just
No, that's not.
What? Play that? That song, the stanky. What?
Yeah.
The stanky. What? Still think about that song all the time.
Sir Resner of the Savage North has messaged, I love James's reluctance to heap praise or speak emphatically, even about things he likes. On Silent Hill 2, episode 423, it brings the memories flooding back a bit.
it's true. I mean, I just like caveating things. It's just...
This is amazingly okay.
Which is
And
really
I will
good, but I
not-
don't want to get called on it.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
not be drawn any further.
Always second guessing with things. It's the same when he's slagging something off. It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. But here's 10 minutes of me laughing at how shit I think it is. But it's not a bad game. So please do not message in and say that I'm wrong. That's
It is. I mean,
that's
come
the
on.
way it
It's
works.
like, how many years have we been doing this now? I've forgotten.
8.
Too long, baby.
2016 we started.
8
So-
years of like knowing I'm going to get called out for something like a couple of episodes down the line, so you're just
Hey,
constantly
if you
thinking,
look,
stop it.
hey, you got to put your head above the parapet. Is that
Parapet.
right, the
Parapet,
thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
But just lean
I was,
into it,
I was
James.
just about to. I was about to say who dies in Final Fantasy VII. You wouldn't let me.
Yeah, you bottled
point.
it.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
maybe
David
I'm-
said,
Yeah, you
"Don't do it."
Yeah,
listen to
yeah,
him.
that's you bottling it. Why are you listening to me?
Go on, do it. Say it.
It's,
Don't do it.
Don't
Okay.
see
do
what there you go.
I just don't,
Don't
like
listen to him.
that. I just don't like that. Okay, next.
We're going to end with Gilbert Grape Scissors. After all the chat about Matt's puns and quips recently, I think he needs to be congratulated on possibly his finest quip yet with his "Ooh, I've got a wife" moment last week. Bravo.
Yeah, I think after all the times we've slagged you off for jokes you've made, Matt, that was probably one of the funniest things you've
That
ever
was
said.
Certainly up there. Certainly up there.
Congratulations.
It's a shame
If you
about
want to
the
leave-
circumstances, obviously, you know that's.
Oh,
less
is it,
funny,
Sean? Have I-
less
you-
funny.
Worth it,
It's-
really.
It's
yeah.
all paid off.
And that's the real quiz. If you want to leave feedback, go to tcgs.co/dear tcgs to leave your feedback.
James the News Hound is
Yeah.
on the case, sniffing up the clues of the news. AKA going onto Eurogame and copying the links.
not just Eurogamer. I've got
Games2.biz as well.
I've got Games2.biz, got Video Games Chronicle, sometimes IGN. So there's,
Not this week.
No, not this week. No, yeah, but most of these.
Poor,
Anyway,
poor week for IGN.
yeah. Although they did, they've
They
had
got it.
some reasonably good
IGN in
stories
the
this
mud.
week. Actually, it's
No, but it's not good enough for the show.
Did
No.
not make the cut.
no.
Okay.
Well, sometimes they're too long.
Just
Like
do
Eurogamer-
better,
I think
IGN.
all the
Do
big website
better.
editors all sit around watching this stream, like, come on, GameSpot.
We got 3 this week, boys.
I mean, the advice I would give to IGN News is to like more concise. I think for some of the articles,
Okay.
you know, just a bit more
You
concise.
can fucking talk.
James, more concise or actually more information in just a headline?
Yeah,
What you
maybe,
need to do,
maybe
IGN,
you
is
make it
halfway through
concise
the
then.
article say, "Do you want the quote? Do you want the quote?"
Yeah.
Write that in the middle of the article somewhere.
It would be. I'll tell you what Games2.biz started doing, which was really helpful. They started having like bullet point summaries at the start of some articles.
stop
that was very
that,
useful.
because you're just showing yourself up now. Go on, next.
Anyway, so Microsoft had a Xbox partner preview event. Did anyone watch this? Because
Yes.
Do you know
I
what?
didn't.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it. No. I've heard really good things about it, mainly from TikTok people that are clearly paid to say it was really good. So I don't know if it was or not. But
Who are
Sean, you
these
said it
TikTok
was
people?
I mean,
okay.
I looked at the list and I thought some of these were at the PlayStation one as well. Like,
Yeah, there wasn't like much big like. Well, it was a partner one, right? So we
Yeah.
knew there wasn't going to be much like exclusive stuff or anything. But no, I thought it was a entertaining half hour, whatever it was.
The one that sort of stuck out when I was looking at bits and pieces from it was this Blind Fire, but that's in early access now, right? You can
Yeah.
play
It
it.
is. That was
It's-
a
yeah.
shadow drop.
Any
I
good?
don't,
Anyone
does it
played
count
it?
as a shadow drop if they announce? I thought a shadow drop was it just appeared and they didn't say anything. Is that have I got that wrong?
No, it's just basically out
just-
today. That feels
Okay,
like
that's
a...
just right.
But Blindfire, I mean, this is a podcast and it doesn't really work, but their logo is basically cyberpunk, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
same
does
colour,
look like
same yellow and everything.
Yeah, same yellow, same like neon, bit weird, but Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we had most of the same stuff. Well, quite a lot of some stuff as before, but there was like Alan Wake 2, more like a dragon stuff. But there was that mouse PI for hire as well, which I thought looked interesting.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
That first, yeah, but it was called something else, wasn't it? I think this is. I've not seen PI for hire be used before, but this was announced the day of or the day after the original imagery for Mickey Mouse become public domain, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it was a big, because they were saying, please, yes, we can't do anything about it now, but don't do anything bad with the image. And next thing we saw was a first-person shooter with Mickey Mouse in it. And I thought that was pretty funny. But it looks really good.
It looks really cool, yeah.
I
Really
thought it looked
interesting.
great. That's coming next year, which is pretty good. And then also, I mean, Animal Well is out now on Xbox, so that's pretty good because that was a good game.
I didn't know that was out on Xbox. Animal Well is absolutely fantastic. If you have not played it, then honestly, it's one of the games of the year. It's so good. And they call it the Onion because there are lots and lots of layers to it. And there are...
Call it that?
That's very clever. No, they do, yeah. They do.
That?
There's a whole thing about... They called the different layers of the game.
Yeah. Sorry,
yeah. So I don't know if you've heard that concept that an onion has layers.
They call it the onion. Why?
You ever peeled an onion concept,
right?
It makes you cry. That's why.
But no, honestly, you will get to the point where you go, nah, this is too far for me. This is way too complicated. But there's a lot of really cool stuff to go and check out on that game, even when you've seen credits. It's it's fucking special. I love Animal Well.
Did you see anything else, Sean, that interested you? Because I've
Wheel World, which
I was about to mention
was called Ghost Bike, and is now called Wheel World.
This is the cell-shaded cycling kind of thing. Yeah?
Not to be confused with I've forgotten the name, but the sort of courier biking one, which also looks really good. But yeah, this is the one I didn't realise this is by Messhoff of Nidhogg fame.
Right.
So this is quite a departure for them. But yeah, so this is third-person cycling / adventure game. I guess it's still not entirely clear what you do. Like the trailer shows someone cycling around. There's some sort of magic shit going on, and also you can change up all the bits on your bike, and there's loads of weird and wonderful stuff. It looks really cool.
And isn't one bikes like a dog? Or something.
Oh, I don't
know. That's the first screenshot I saw. It's like how you're riding a dog. As I'm very curious about what this game is.
Yeah, and it's got like a floating skull in front of it, which would be an improvement to any bike, I imagine.
Mate, if I could have got one of those when I was 12, forget about it. Instead, we just had those things from Frosties that you put on that made that clackety clack sound as you rode.
The Spooky Doos or Spookadoos or what are they called? What are they called?
That's please
Spooky Dokies. Spooky Dokies. That's what they're called. Yeah.
Spooky Doos.
Spooky Dokies.
Okay. Yeah. World looks good.
The other main thing, because it was what they ended on, was FBC Firebreak. So this is the Control multiplayer game, and it's co-op. I wasn't sure if we knew that. I knew they were.
It's always just been, we knew them working on a multiplayer game, not specifically co-op.
Yeah,
but
it's like 3-player co-op, isn't it? It's like
three players, first person. It looks like there's like 3 classes, and basically, there's some weird manner of beasts have infected the Federal Bureau of Control, and you're the team that's called in to just clear them out. And it looks really good.
Yeah, it does look good. The only other game on the list that I sort of recognised was Phasmophobia. Wasn't that a VR game?
It was made into VR, but originally not. No.
Right.
Right. Okay. So this is the one where it's like you're looking for ghosts, right, with different equipment or whatever, and you get spooky.
Incredibly spooky. That's out just in time for Halloween on the 29th of October. It's been really weird, seeing. Some games like in Steam Next Fest, for example, and which has been on this week, and you'll see sort of spooky looking games, and it's like, release date 15th of November, and it's like, oh, guys.
Yeah, they're fucking
gutted. Gutted. Just missed, didn't they? Yeah. Just missed.
Should we attempt a Phasmophobia stream?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Count me out.
Oh. I mean, I'm bad at
scary games.
I'm bad at scary games, but it'd be quite funny if we all did it together, wouldn't it?
You're better than me. Nah, don't want to do that. Nope. I don't have to do that, Matt. You can't.
I was suggesting it. I think the listeners, viewers would love that.
I'm saying no.
Speaking of spooky stuff, the Subnautica 2 trailer was weirdly terrifying. I didn't twig that it was Subnautica 2 at all. I gather there was some spooky stuff in the first Subnautica, just in terms of going deep into the ocean, there being big scary sea creatures. But I thought it was mostly pretty chill. Whereas this was full on like, yeah, you're gonna get fucking crushed by a giant squid.
Not for me. Not for me.
No, thanks.
Speaking of not for me, The Legend of Baboon looked like the most generic game I've ever seen.
I was going to
remember this.
I was going to bring this up because the dog's face on that.
Yeah,
for
it's
some
really
reason,
unnerving, isn't it?
And I find it. I really hate that dog's face. Honestly, like you look at it.
Do you know what it is? It looks like your uncle's got dressed up as a dog.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. It looks
just
a little
looks
bit
really
too human.
It looks a bit too human, a bit smug, a bit arrogant, and I just
the dog.
I hate the look of that dog's face.
No, Sean, it's not just a normal dog. It looks like. Look, I'm gonna take a photo of it now on my screen.
It now. I'm looking at it.
It looks
it
stupid.
It does look like
someone. Imagine
it's
your uncle. He's gone to a fancy dress party, but it turns out it wasn't a fancy dress party. He just thought it was, and he's just turned up at the door and seen everyone in their regular clothes. That's what the dog looks like. Look at the image I've just put up there. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake! It's the eyes. The eyes have got like proper human eyes. Anyway,
that's right. I see what you mean.
It just looks weird. It just looks arrogant. It's
that might be the greatest
face.
description of anything ever. I'm quite happy with that one. But we'll see. You know what this is like. You know, the amount of times I've listened back to one of our pods and we're like, "Fuck that game," and it's like our game of the year. A couple of years later, it's crazy. Okay.
I see Bloober Team announced another game. Are you any more interested? Given
anti-Bloober.
Yeah,
James?
I mean, given the positive reception to Silent Hill 2, do you go with a bit of renewed hope?
Do you know, I've got some newfound respect for Bloober after that news story that came out yesterday, where they said, where they just they came out and just said, yes, our previous games were not very good. But now
shitty was the word I saw.
Shitty. They actually said our games were shitty, and they felt that they'd they'd gone up to a new level now, like with Silent Hill 2, and they've done obviously they've done a really brilliant job with it, and they feel they can kick on now, from that. So that's pretty good. But this is Chronos: The New Dawn, which is coming in 2025.
Looked a bit Dead Space, but with a bit more psychedelia. It was very odd, very interesting trailer though.
But they've said they want to, they still want to carve this niche of like horror games, and that's what this is probably going to be. So, yeah.
So what's the niche here? Horror games and what with a psychological element?
I guess just horror games. That's what they're going for. I mean, it is a bit of a niche, Matt. It's not.
Yeah, I guess because even like Callisto Protocol didn't sell too well. Dead Space, I'm not sure how well that sold. So obviously the Resis do really well, but good luck to them, I say.
That's nice of you, Matt. That's really nice of you. Yeah.
Just do my bit in it.
Sharing the love.
I'm available for work.
No, he really is.
No, I'm desperate. I'm fucking desperate.
Is that it? Is that it for that one?
That is, yeah. So, I mean, the next news story is related to this, Nintendo Switch Online playtest thing, which has obviously leaked. Like, I mean, there was 10,000 people were...
Slow down.
Go on.
Slow down just a second. We spoke about this last week, Sean.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's in the news.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was the new? I don't remember this at all.
Well,
last week there was absolutely no meat on it whatsoever. It was just there's going to be an online test. 10,000 people have been allowed to sign up.
Right, okay, I remember. Yes, I remember because I think someone made the joke that it was just the Spanish. I think that was the joke that I can't remember. It's probably Matt because he's smiling now.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
Okay, all right.
I remember making a joke about how we can't possibly find out what they say about it because it's in another language.
So what is it then? I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so basically Nintendo said we're going to do some sort of online test of something, and we want people to sign up to do it, but they only had like 10,000 spaces for this. So there was a limited time when you could register and, to show your interest that you wanted to do it. Part of the conditions were that you weren't allowed to talk about or post on internet or anything like that.
Internet.
I know,
no, not post on the internet. You cannot post on the internet.
Post on the internet. You can't post on the internet like any details of anything that you saw and all this kind of thing. So naturally, this naturally, this has obviously not happened, and people have been leaking documents like left, right, and centre.
People have posted on the internet.
And they have posted on internet. Yeah, that's
Posted on internet is the episode title. It absolutely is the episode title, man. Write it down.
so. The leaked documents seem to suggest a game that sounds a bit like an MMO. Like it sounds like it's like a online, lots of people playing at the same time.
The
kind of thing.
description is not clear, is it?
No. But according to Eurogamer, they said that players have to work together to fully develop a massive, expansive planet by utilising creativity and farmed resources, with new lands, enemies, and resources appearing while players progress. And then you have these like special tools that are called beacons, where you can like heal the land and stuff. And what they were talking about was how like you could like construct stuff in the land, but then you'll have like your own like dome where you can like store things, and people can't mess with those. But then you can then go into the open world and build stuff with other people, I guess. And there's going to be like this social hub as well, so you can like interact with other people and stuff.
I didn't say it was something like, so basically the higher you place your beacon, the
larger
more
it's,
it heals the land beneath it. So the idea is trying to build massive structures to place that beacon as high as you get. Sounds fucking
I
weird.
have
but
never been happier to not be part of a beta in my life. I'm quite happy to miss this one, I'll be honest with you.
So this was posted on internet, but then what happened, which was quite funny, was that then the images now that were up there, they've all been taken down. They've all been like cease and desist, all gone, which is quite interesting. And the playtest is officially going to start on the 24th of October, and it's going to run for about 2 weeks. And there's a 2.2 gigabyte download for it, for people that want to play it and try it out. But Nintendo basically said, we want to test, the limits of our infrastructure, which shouldn't take them very long.
10,000 people.
With 10,000 people, yeah, which is quite funny.
How many Switches are there in circulation? 150 million. Or
Yeah.
And look, we used to calling people out on this show. Matt, are you watching the football match?
No, I've just got like school in front of me.
Matt, are you watching the football match?
I'm not. No, I've got it on my phone. Got the 1-0.
It just come up on my screen. Palace have a corner, and Matt did this.
No.
And then he was like staring, and then sort of went.
No, because I'd have to log into things, and no.
Okay,
you have to log into things then.
Right.
I'm not going to watch the. I've got the score. That's enough. I'm watching the whole bloody game, and I'm doing a podcast. Am I? I'm professional. I was a goal. No.
If it was a better team, he probably would. But
all right,
look, I don't. If people have been linking stuff, I think we'd have had more of a handle of what they're trying to achieve with this beta. But I've got no idea. Do you?
I mean,
all we've seen is the screenshots. So like, it hasn't started yet. So when it starts, we'll get loads of footage.
Stuff will leak. 100%.
Yeah, it doesn't start till like Thursday. So I look forward to it. Definitely not leaking on Thursday and seeing all the videos of people definitely not playing it.
How many Twitch streams are they going to have to take down for this?
No, Twitch are usually pretty good with that, right? They'll be on that because there's ways of detecting what they're playing.
Yeah, it'll be on Kick where no one gives a fuck, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the old days where Daily Motion had all the episodes.
Yeah, Blog TV.
Wanted to watch.
It'd be on Blog TV Day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Justin TV. Whatever it was.
Jesus.
That was pretty.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So anyway, the next news story is that I shouldn't start a news story laughing, especially not this news story, because
God, you've done it again.
Fuck's sake.
more than 700 Ubisoft France staff walked out for a 3-day strike in dispute over home working and pay, and this is all related to a return to the office policy that Ubisoft recently announced, and also a pay dispute.
Hang on, so stop this, David. How do you know Palace got a corner?
Because it come up on the BBC website that they had a corner.
Interesting. Okay.
Sinking back down in his
Hang on.
seat.
Hang on, how do you know they got a fucking corner? BBC, what is his website? I've never heard this.
Go on.
So, according to Le Mans, STJV, which is the French Game Makers Union, called the strike because Ubisoft management didn't respond to any complaints from the union about this return to work policy. And STJV, that sounds like something else, have said that Ubisoft have reneged on promises about home working. and also like called into question about how they're organising their lives. Basically, is what Ubisoft are doing here. So yeah, it's that's not so great. I mean, it's a 3-day strike, but hopefully it'll have some impact and maybe make Ubisoft rethink some things.
Just a shame it's had to get to this point, really.
Yeah.
How are we still hearing this shit about Ubisoft? And given everything that went on, why are Ubisoft not like, shit, we need to sort this out? They're threatening a strike. We need to fucking talk to them. I mean, I don't know.
Well, the action's working. This is the best way of doing it. 700 people walking out of work is a big deal, and I hope that gets resolved. I'm still really conflicted on working from home and the positives and negatives and all.
It's tough, isn't it? Because I think big
thing, like case by case. Yeah.
I know you always hated working from home. I liked it for a while. Yeah. Now I hate it, but I don't really have any choice.
But what sits with me is not personally. It's like whether it's to right or not. Whether
exactly,
you've got a right to work from home no matter what. And I think like now, we do. Do you know what I mean? Like because it's been proved to be possible. Like it is possible to do that.
Yeah.
And I wonder where that sits going forward because, as we move away from the pandemic, the stuff that happened during that period is quickly getting forgotten again.
Yeah,
100%. And like even to the minutiae of connecting to a virtual meeting now. Although saying that's another huge thing. Lots of meetings that I'm involved in now are held virtually. Because,
pretty much all of mine
that
are.
pandemic. Like because of it's.
And especially
sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing for sure. But it really blows my mind on how
because I know
where people's rights sit with this.
Yeah, and like obviously because I know you do like a lot of client related stuff, so not everyone is on site or where not everyone's in the same place. So it's the same where I work. It's like, well, we could do it in person, but everyone would have to drive, or loads of people would have to drive for fucking half an hour each at least, and it's just not a good use of time.
I mean, all of our stuff is pretty much like this now. Even I mean, it's just constant online meetings now, which I don't know how I feel about that. But the thing is with this is that when people sometimes when people are taking these jobs as well, there was assurances made that they could work from home or whatever, and maybe they they work their lives around living in a certain place, but they could still work like via remotely. So. Suddenly changing that and saying like, no, you got to, this is over now.
Sure,
but
difficult. There's also people that have been working at the company for 20 years and they've gone through this period of working from home and proving that it works, and now they're forcing them back in the office. And they're saying, well, hold on, that has a financial impact on my life. That has... I know for me personally, working from home had a negative impact on my mental health, right? But there are people where going back to the office would have that same effect on them. So is it a right? I think it kind of is now. And it's interesting to see how workers are reacting to big companies saying, no more working from home. Like,
because
it's not...
I mean, loads of companies, tech or otherwise, are doing this. But Spotify actually recently come out recently and said, no, we're not doing this. Like, we treat our staff like adults. If they want to work from home, they can. We trust the work's getting done, and this is the modern age now. And so, but Spotify, one of the very few companies that are actually saying, look, whatever works for our company. But it's, I mean, I don't know about Ubisoft, but I would imagine a lot of this is due to companies that have massive office space and they're paying like a ridiculous amount in rent. And suddenly, if like half the company aren't there, they're like, hang on, either something has to happen here to get actually people in the office to make use of all these seats or these desks. Otherwise, there have to be much more substantial changes regarding rent and buildings we own and whatnot. But it's interesting. God knows where we'll be in like 5-10 years' time. But obviously, the entire world changed. But and also thinking about virtual meetings, video meetings now, it's just like the most natural thing in the world now is to have a video call. Whereas pre-pandemic, online meetings. I mean, I can't really remember. I'm sure I did do them, but now it's just like, obviously we do a video call, and you don't think about it. That's just what you do.
That's one of the weird things, though, isn't it? Like how video calls have become like really like normalized, like to the point like with the kids, whenever they call me. They always just call me using video call.
Well, that's just that was happening before. That was happening before the pandemic. The use of FaceTime and stuff for the younger lot, is just like really sort of that's the way they communicate, and that sounds horrendous to me.
It is. This is why I always say I'm like saying to Asher, it's like, look, I'm out. Can you just do an audio call, please? It's like because I don't want to be walking around.
People just
city.
having calls on loudspeaker now as default. What's that about?
Yeah, that's also people
out and about just holding the phone like there.
Yeah, I
Like,
see.
what are you fucking doing? Just put it next to your fucking head.
Yeah, I was sending messages to Ian in the week about how I'm getting old and things are pissing me off more. Like my example was, did everyone just get a memo in the world to say when you're crossing, not at a crossing, but in front of a car, then don't do that little jog thing to go.
Don't worry
"Look,
about
I'm
it.
trying to be
Take
quick."
your time. It's
Just
fine.
stroll past without even looking. It was like everyone got a notification one day and they started doing it, and
It's
it
usually kids, I find, or like high
yeah.
school kids.
Yeah,
Are fucking awful for it.
Why are you to smash you?
and the music they listen to is just
Oh,
noise.
No tune. It's all F this and
Effing and
that.
jeffing, isn't it?
See this.
Everything's now like, I'm a Game Boy, beep bap ba doo.
Exactly.
That is a stolen gag from Zack Zucker. Let's move on.
Shame. It's a shame we do original
credited.
material here, Dave.
Credited, mate.
That's fair.
Credited. Go on.
So, would you like to hear what Shawn Layden's got to say about video games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
The guy used
So,
to work in video
In
games.
truth,
Yeah.
no. If we weren't on the podcast and you'd have said that, I'd have gone, no, James. But we're here, aren't we? So go on.
Shawn Layden, previously of Sony and a PlayStation, he recently did interviews and he says, we've done these things this way for 30 years. Every generation, these costs went up and we are realigned with it, he replied. We've reached the precipice now where the centre can't hold. We cannot continue to do things the way we have done them before. And then he started talking specifically
In reference
about...
to what?
Well, no, then he starts talking specifically about hardware because he's basically arguing that the whole console arms race kind of thing has plateaued and that it's not going any further. And so when he started to talk about hardware, he said it has plateaued. We're at the stage of hardware development that I call only dogs can hear the difference. If you're playing your game and sunlight is coming through your window onto your TV, you're not seeing any ray tracing. It has to be super optimal. You have to have an 8K monitor in a dark room to see these things. We're fighting over teraflops, and that's no place to be. We need to compete on content. Jacking up the specs of the box, I think we've reached the ceiling. So, yeah. That's So he's basically arguing.
Weird
it's-
examples, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, we're definitely diminishing returns. It's like
It
a lot
also
of
sounds like
technology.
he's flying through, like...
Let me go at the top of the PS5 Pro.
Colleagues. I mean, he's absolutely right. What I would like to see is prolonged generation, hardware generation. You know, I wonder. It must be profitable to launch a new console. Ultimately,
Well, it is because you remember, we've said before, it was the constant cycle was like, oh shit, gamer in trouble again, and then it's like, oh, there's a new hardware generation, they'll be all right, that'll pull them.
Yeah, but they're just the retailer. I'm talking about launching a console, and famously, a lot of consoles don't make money.
Yeah, it's always a loss maker. They make their money on accessories and services and software.
But then also the other thing about that is the cost of machines has gone up as well, like during this generation.
Yeah.
And like they haven't done the usual thing, which in the past when they had more sort of custom designs for stuff, they always shrunk everything down more and more, and then they got cheaper as things went on. That doesn't seem to be happening anymore, which is
No, and where do we go for the next generation? Like, it's nuts. Like, where do we go from here? It's you're going to be, as I said, when the PS5 Pro was announced at £700 or whatever it was, like, where do you go from there? Oh, here's the next one, but actually it's half that price. Or
I still think that's going to be quite a long way off. I think that this generation is going to be around for quite a long time.
Because I don't think we've seen what these consoles can do yet.
We haven't. I was saying it last week about God of War 2018 hasn't aged a day. I said it when we revisited Red Dead 2, still looks amazing.
Yeah,
when Gotham Knights came out, Gotham Knights didn't look bad by any means, but there was that side by side footage of that and the last Arkham, it's Arkham City or Arkham Knight, one of those, and the Arkham game looked better, categorically, not just in visual fidelity, but just little sort of attention to detail and the animations and stuff. There was just so much more going on there. And again, you have to be careful. I'm not saying devs are fucking lazy. Obviously that's not it. Obviously there must be issues they are contending with that we don't understand. But broadly speaking, there has not been a huge improvement visually this generation.
It's called the Xbox Series S, Sean. That's
I
the.
think you'll find that's a next gen piece of hardware. It technically can do ray tracing.
I'm absolutely buying one of those for Harry though. This like, for Christmas, he wants one, a new console, so he can play in his bedroom and stuff. And I'm just thinking, why would I? All he plays is Fortnite, and that's perfect for that. Fortnite and Minecraft, brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay 470 quid for a PS5 or an Xbox Series X when I can play that thing. So for me, there's still a massive market in that. I'm amazed that Xbox haven't done better this gen.
But
and
then,
all that says to me is
the games.
it's that, but it's also the fact that you could buy an Xbox Series S, or you could buy like a PS4 for like 100 quid or whatever now. Like you can buy a second-hand one or whatever of those.
Yeah, but the games aren't supported like they are on the Xbox, are they? So
I think they are. There's loads of stuff still comes out on that.
Yeah, I'd like to see how well Fortnite runs on a PS4 compared to a Series S, though. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Maybe it is comparable. I don't know. The problem is Charlie plays it on, and he shouldn't, but he plays it on the Switch. And my word, that is fucking ropey.
It's the same with that with Minecraft as well. Because like my kids, they play a lot of Minecraft, and they've been playing it on Switch. But even they are getting to the point where it's just like, this is ridiculous.
it's so bad. Yeah, the fog. You can't really see where you're going half the time.
It's that, and
the
also
fucking-
like starting up takes forever.
Yeah,
as
starting
well.
up,
The
like,
loading.
the menus, like if you're going into the store, and I don't know if it's any better on the Xbox, but yeah, on the Switch, it's fucking awful. It was just semi-related. There was a story. Some people from Valve were saying like, yeah, we could do a new Steam Deck, but it'd be a bit better. Like there's no like they're now sitting on the Steam Deck until there's going to be this major generational leap in what you can do in a handheld, because like they could make it more powerful, but they'd be cutting into battery life. Like there's no like they feel they've already got a compromise there. There's no point doing incremental, slightly better Steam Decks.
This is why I wonder whether the Switch 2 is going to be not that significantly better than the current one.
I think you might be right.
Well,
I think it does need to be, because that was 2007, well, 2006 hardware, really. Like, it will definitely be substantially better. It maybe won't even be like, wait, I don't think it will be PS5. It maybe be like PS4 Pro.
It'll be like Series S level, right?
Yeah. It is not going to be PS5 level.
No,
it's
but I think even like PS4 Pro
PS5
would be way
level.
better than where the Switch is currently.
It can't anyway, can it? Because you've got to think, the Steam Deck is significantly more powerful than the Switch, right? And if they're going to try and get something like that into that form factor, that must be quite difficult.
Yeah,
I can't see how it's going to be like really significant.
It will be an improvement. I think it will be an improvement.
Definitely.
I think
that chip was old when that chip got put in the Switch, for goodness sake. It wasn't even like the most recent version of that Tegra.
One of the things that has improved a lot is mobile processors. So I think that will help significantly with the new Switch. But again, I was listening to a podcast talk about how Nintendo approached design. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't credit what it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I might have mentioned this on the pod recently. But their attitude was, no, we're not saying we're going to try and hit the PS4 level for graphics. We're saying we want to sell this for £300 to £350. What can we do to make that profitable for us? That's their goal, to try and get out a relatively affordable games console that you're going to buy for your kids. I mean, one of the successes about the Nintendo Switch is that most people that play them own more than one of them. Like, that is such a big thing. Like, James owns like 12. Didn't even know you bought like 9, right?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Bought 9, 7 in circulation.
It's been quite a lot though. It's a great console. It's been a great console.
It has been a great console. Not been a great console the past year or so, I wouldn't say.
No, but I think overall it's still one of the strongest machines that Nintendo ever put out, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, that is a good question.
It definitely is.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it's up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is up there with the best of them.
I was wondering when the Switch 2 comes out. So, as you know, Isaac and I had my Switch. James generously donated one of his knackered ones, and I was able to fix it. Isaac then dropped that in a toilet. So now we're back to just sharing mine. And it's weird. It's probably just me, but it's weird what a barrier that is to me using it. Because the amount of evenings where I'll just be like, Isaac's halfway through something. I don't want to quit his game, so I'll just play on something else. So when the new one comes
Also,
out,
there's jam on it.
and there's jam.
You know.
On it. I've had to take
poo-poo.
the screen protector off. He's absolutely fucked that already. But
Yeah, Charlie's been through 3 screen protectors. You know when you were going, "Oh, that plastic grill thing's gone." Matt kept saying about that. Yeah. Mine hadn't, but now it has. You know, it's absolute mess. All of the rubber bits are off of the sticks. You know the rubber.
Yeah.
Oh, he's peeled them off.
Gone. Yeah. So when the new one comes out, do I need to be saving for 2 of them, or is that really bad parenting?
Is he going to notice? Is he? I mean, I guess he will.
I think,
he would have been shown.
because he's going to be absolutely buzzing when the new one shows up.
The kids can play it for a bit. They're not playing it with me. Like no, there will be a time where they can use it as their main console, but no. I think it's like it's like trying to decide what's shittier as a parent. Is it no, you can't play on Daddy's new toy, or is it fucking here's another 350 quid, mate? Who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean? The first one is shittier, but that's the one I am. Okay. Thank you. I'd love to go back because I remember there was an initial like Nintendo were hoping to sell. I think it was like 80 million units of the Switch. And I remember James going, "They're getting nowhere near that. They're getting absolutely nowhere near." It was
love
on
to
this
hear that
pod.
audio.
141
No,
million.
I was
They've sold
super negative about that
141.
when it was first announced. I thought that sounds like a bit of a joke. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I was totally wrong. It's been brilliant.
Okay.
Next story is about Hazelight, because Hazelight, who did It Takes Two, and which has now sold 20 million copies, which is pretty good. And there's a new co-op game coming, it seems, because Joseph Fares posted this tweet basically saying that they're developing a new IP. It's coming sometime in 2020 something, which has got a question mark on the end of it. There's a note on there saying co-op, and that's it. And then it just says that there's 2 words for the name, and it has S and then 4 stars and then all stars and then just N on the end. So people are trying to figure out what it's called, but nobody can figure it out yet, obviously.
It's 2 words.
It's 2 words. I mean, SHAG. It could be shag. Maybe, but it's probably not. But then it looks like this is probably going to get revealed at the Game Awards. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. I loved It Takes Two. I think the studio are genuinely brilliant. I would have liked to see them move away from the co-op thing.
Why?
To see what they could do.
It's their thing. And
They
I
do it so
don't
well.
like anyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, calm down. Let me answer.
Yeah, you twat. You.
I think because
David's an idiot.
This is the worst take I've ever heard.
Yeah, Jesus, Dave.
I tell you why, right? Because there's only so much you can do with, hey, you do this and I'll do that. And I think that they nailed that on It Takes Two. And I worry that was the peak of that stuff. You twirl it round and I'll point this way, or you fire and I'll aim. All that sort of stuff is a there's a limit to that, right? And there's a well of ideas, and that will dry up at some point. If it hasn't dried up by this next game, then fair fucking play, man, because they put everything into It Takes Two, and it was, in terms of co-op play, it was unbelievable. It was so well implemented. If they managed to do that again with fresh ideas, holy shit, fair play, right? But also, I think if they get the right writers on board, the correct writers on board, I think they could do a genuinely stunning single-player adventure game. I really do. And I think that might have more mass appeal than it would a co-op game, because it gets rid of that, I need to find a friend that I can play with, and we need to go through this whole game together, and all that sort of stuff.
But no, I mean, but I'm glad they're doing this, because not enough people are doing it, and we've got a million single-player games. It's great that some studio is focusing all their efforts on making great co-op experiences, and I like the first one. It Takes Two was great as well, and was it
The first one,
No Way Out?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You can't have liked it. I mean, it was a mess of a game.
I mean, yeah, James and I had fun streaming it.
We had a great
That's the only
time
time I played
streaming
it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's-
I know, because you were pissed.
No,
You
that
were
first time we
laughing at
weren't.
it.
No way out we weren't, were we, James?
You were laughing at it.
By the end, yeah.
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah, when we're doing the speedboat chase and then you hid from me. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we might have been a little bit drunk, but yeah, I mean, it's great. A Studio is focusing all their efforts on co-op, so I'm excited to see what they do next. And yeah, loads of ideas in It Takes Two, but I don't think they're anywhere near the end of their creativity.
I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, because it just feels like they've done that a lot, and to try and keep that fresh is going to be such a hard task.
I know, but you could say that about anything. Like, you could say that about, like, Mario, like, like releasing, like, the Mario Studio, like releasing new versions of Odyssey and stuff like that. It's like, trying to keep that fresh as well with like new ideas and new stuff all the time. It's difficult. But I mean, I can understand why they're doing this. It's like 20 million copies. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of copies they've sold of that, of It Takes Two.
Yeah, it's clear an audience. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an audience there for it. And
you only need one. You only needed one person to buy it as well, which
yeah,
is even
because you
easier.
could, yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. I think, yeah, it should be hopefully good.
Oh God, I'm looking forward to it. This studio is someone to look forward to. Whatever they're doing next. So I can't wait to see what they do next. I have my concerns.
Okay, final news story is that there's a new print gaming periodical has just been launched in the UK, not available outside the UK yet. But this is from Andrew Hines and Nathan Brown, and it's basically long form content, like sort of magazine. It costs 25 quid, and I mean, this is the quote. It says, "The ultimate celebration of gaming's past, present, and future." It's called On. And it's On. Volume 1 is a premium games journal with outstanding writers, fantastic design, and luxurious print quality. It's basically it's Edge. It's like a kind of another take on it, but without
free
reviews.
Copy. What? Sorry, what is this bit of the news?
Say again?
You sound like a TikTok influencer.
No, it's no. I think no. The reason I included this is because we talk about print magazines a lot, and we talk about the fact that they're kind of disappearing, and it is kind of interesting to see that there is somebody having a shot at this, and also the contributors are pretty good. You've got there's Keith Stewart, Keza McDonald, Jen Simpkins, Christian Donlan.
Again, you've gone back into influence mode. What is going on
Just
here?
look at
And
this
also-
list of writers. This
And also,
a premium cover on the.
For
it's
just
premium
£25.
quality. No, it's premium
Or on
quality.
Klarna, £3 a month for the next. Go on.
It's premium quality, and there are 8 covers for the series. So if you want to collect the whole set, it's £169. So
I mean, that is
hell.
wild. And I'm not saying I blame them for doing it, because people will pay it and find your money. But yeah, to me that is nuts. That it's like,
Especially
you can buy the same magazine,
Yeah, the same one. Yeah.
8 times, but with different covers.
I
I've
am.
never
I
been
am
out
kind of tempted to get one. I
God,
mean,
yeah.
it does it really nice, and
For
yeah,
£25.
it's
Put it on
it's
your
more like a
shelf.
coffee table thing, isn't it? Than
Yeah,
a
look cool
a
in your
magazine.
house.
Probably wouldn't buy all of them, but yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes or what it does.
But no, in a time where we're all, the fact that there isn't a lot of very high quality writing going on,
Yeah.
in
Wow.
print,
The
in
shade.
print. No, in print. I'm saying in print. It's kind of nice to, to see something like this.
100%.
think,
No, I
get
really
launched.
hope it works out for him.
Yeah.
Any of us going to get it?
I might.
Not David.
I'm not buying a £25 magazine.
I still want to do the TCGS annual, right? So we need
Yeah,
to
I'm up for
support
that.
stuff like this. I might
I'm not
give Nathan
charging
Brown a ring and be
£25
like,
for the TCGS manual. Annual. Not the
What
manual.
about, what about 20 quid?
How does this episode work? Page 6.
I'm just saying, I might
mean,
give Nathan Brown a ring and be like, give us your contacts, and I want to do the same thing.
But cheaper.
I mean,
And better.
Ben in the chat says it's not magazine size, it's thick. So there you go.
There we go.
It's,
Can we rename this section of the show? We've got Farley's Fantasy Zone. Can we call this Farley's Marketing Zone? Where you just try and sell a product like you're on Price Drop TV.
I'd be so bad at that. It'd be awful.
I'd love
Well, I
to
think
see
we've
you
just
do a
seen you'd
Price
be
Drop
great at
TV.
it. Great at it.
Yeah, you'd be very good. Is that it for the news?
That is it for the news this week. Yes.
Okay, we've got lots of games to talk about this week. We will start with a game that we have all played and all completed. Neva?
Never.
Never.
Neva.
Neva? Neva?
Never.
What
Neva.
the fuck is this game called?
Well, I thought you told us last week, didn't you?
It sort of drifts,
Yes,
doesn't it?
Because they said Neva, Matt. And then when I went back and played it, she said Neva, Never, and Neva within like 30 seconds
Well,
of the game.
apparently, the voice actor recorded over 400 versions of it, so maybe they just got fed up partway through. I'll switch it up.
Well,
and call
look,
something else now.
just right, because I'll be honest with you, Sean. I thought all week you've been sitting there because I mentioned it in our group chat. This weird. She says it different ways. And you didn't reply, and I thought Sean's building up an argument when this part of it.
No,
so,
no,
I,
no.
so I downloaded a bit of my gaming footage where she says it two different ways within seconds of each other. Listen to this.
Neva. Neva.
What the fuck
That
is going on?
That is distinct,
got-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Never.
Never and
Neva.
Neva.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Been playing Neva.
yeah. We've all completed it. I think, Sean, you were such a massive fan of Greece, the last game from this developer. I'd like you to lead on it. Tell me your thoughts. And I'm so interested to go around the room on this one. I really am. Because it's a short game. It's 3 to 4 hours long.
Yep.
It's £15 to £20, I've heard, on different platforms. And I want to know where you sit on not only the price, but the game itself.
So I really loved this. I thought it was fantastic. Certain elements of it didn't quite land for me, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
I think, sort of obviously comparing it to Greece, the main thing is that there is combat in this. So, it's this, for those who haven't seen it, it's this beautiful 2D platformer. I think one thing that's interesting about the art style is, so the art director, he's one of the founders of the studio, Conrad, I'm going to say Rosset, probably, that's how it's pronounced. So he's an artist, and when you look at Greece, it's like, that's him doing his style, right? If you look at his previous work, he does a lot of portraits and stuff, and Greece is very much this sort of, watercolor style that he's known for. This, Neva, looks quite different. It's still beautiful, and there's lots of obviously sort of, a lot of hand-drawn stuff. It's absolutely stunning, but it's a very different visual style, and it's clear that he's taken on board what the rest of his art team are capable of, rather than just being like, no, everyone draw like me, right? Which I think is very,
on
very
that
cool.
point. On that point, Sean, I do think it is important to say that this isn't like Greece, in my opinion. I think this feels way more of a game than that game did, and I'm not slagging off Greece at all. I fucking loved that game. I thought it was fucking wonderful. But when I spoke to people who played that game, and they said that you didn't really do much, so I didn't really get into it. It's easy to say, right? Okay, my point is this: it's easy to say if you like Greece, you'll probably like this. But if you didn't like Greece, there's also a good chance you might like this. It's way more of a game. There's more platforming, more combat. It's got more natural development when it comes to gameplay throughout the game. I think, I think it is a different beast. So
It's interesting because there are, I think the pacing of this game is phenomenal because there are bits where you are just running right through or left through an environment. It's beautiful enough that you won't care that that's all you're doing. But then, as you say, there are much more involved. There's involved combat bits. There's platforming challenges, which at times, I'm not saying it's anywhere near as complicated as something like Celeste, but the building blocks are quite similar because you've got a double jump, you've got a dash, you've occasionally got clinging to walls and stuff. And there are situations where you are looking at a platform challenge and just being like, right, how the fuck do I get over there?
Yeah.
And it's doing this sort of mental process of being like, oh right, okay, so I double jump there and then I'll dash, and then it's like, no, actually you jump and then you allow yourself to fall a fair distance and then you dash to this bit, and then sort of piecing together things like that. It's almost a puzzle game, but with execution in there as well. The combat, I think it does feel a bit stiff. But I don't think it was anything you can't get used to over time. And I think by the end of the game, like you can make the combat look amazing. Like you make it look really stylish. I think. Like I think the fact that your attack combo is very simple. It's just a 3-hit combo. You only have 3 hit points, which can go very quickly if you're not careful. But you can also earn them back by I think it's like 6 consecutive hits.
Yeah,
You get
without
health
being
point
hit.
back.
Yeah.
I think that's quite well balanced. There are definitely some boss fights that are just like, right, just learn the pattern, or do you know what I mean? There's no sort of half-arsing it. It's a bit trial and error. But again, once you pull it off, you're just doing it perfectly. Which again it's not as good as this, but it reminds me a bit of Hollow Knight in some ways. In that once you're learning the boss patterns, go on, James. Sorry.
I can absolutely, because I had some Hollow Knight vibes. Particularly, there's one of those ones where obviously I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, there's one where there's like 2 creatures that you're fighting at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's like things coming up from the ground and stuff, and you're like, this feels very, very Hollow Knight. Actually, this.
Yeah, I thought those kinds of boss battles are great. I mean, I know the combat isn't complex, but I think it was the right amount of moves to quickly juggle in like a short space of time, and it made combat really satisfying, even in its simplicity. I think because I'm like, okay, I can dash through here and like and then if there's like a boss with your 1 or 2 bosses, whatever, it's just satisfying to kind of like dash through their attacks, hit them, dash the other way, hit them again, jump, you boost. It was I thought it was really satisfying in its simplicity. It worked really well, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
it's like it reminded me of a really condensed, and this is a terrible. Well, it's a boring comparison, but it reminded me of a really condensed Dark Souls, where the enemies of the boss fights are very mechanical. There's a formula to all of them, and especially with the boss fights, you're like, right, I learned this attack. This is what I do with that attack. It does a tell. It does the attack, and as you say, with a simplified combat system, it never gets too complicated. So I think it sort of nails that sort of learn the pattern and learn to react to it.
Yeah, and I think like, and I wouldn't want to spoil it, so I won't. But it's not a spoiler to say the wolf Neva grows up, right? And it changed. And this was part of the pitch of the game, is that it is about the wolf growing up and changing and stuff. And there are gameplay elements to that, which I think are really cool. I think the way because they present themselves one way, and then there's, again, talking around spoilers, so apologies if this is frustrating to listen to, but there was one fight I was doing where I was like, oh shit, no, I just there's this ability I've got now, and I just realised how useful that could be.
Yes, I did that towards the end. I forgot I can do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the way that stuff unfolds is really cool. The way it just picks up and then drops like really cool ideas, like nothing outstays its welcome. One bit in particular, I'll just say the mirrors bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was so good. It also looked gorgeous. Like even when you're walking into the area, like where you run across the landscape and you see the reflection.
That bit, I gasped actually when I saw that, because it looked so beautiful.
Yeah,
so
I took loads of screenshots in this game, and there were loads of bits kind of in between chapters, or in between combat scenarios where you're basically, as Shawn said earlier, just running across. But yeah, the bit where it's dark and you basically see like the reflection of the landscape. It looked absolutely stunning.
There's so much sort of really striking imagery in this as well. Like
Yeah,
in the
use of
background,
colours.
just things
It's
you see there.
The depth of it as well. Like obviously it's a 2D game, but there must be like dozens of planes of stuff, foreground and background at any one time.
It does scale really well for a game that of this type as well. Yeah, there's a lot of times you're going up and down kind of landscapes, and it's like you feel like you really have travelled or fallen a great distance.
It kind of there's not a lot of consistency in terms of, because you'll be running across at what you think is ground level, and then you sort of fall for 20 seconds into something else, but then you still appear to be at ground level and you can still see this. Do you know what I mean? It's not like there's no like, oh well, I've fallen, so now I must be somewhere underground, or there's like, it doesn't have that sort of internal consistency. But then the whole thing is so dreamlike that it's just like, I fell and now I'm here.
A lot of metaphors being used and a lot of symbolism. So yeah, you don't really hold it to that, do you? Doesn't feel like a world.
But the story didn't really work for me.
No?
Okay.
I thought it was fine until the end, and I was like, oh, all right. And
I have a problem with the end, but I can't talk about it here. It's
Yeah.
too spoilery. But let's talk
Obviously,
about it
yeah.
after
Yeah.
after the show.
Yeah.
I
Or
like
maybe
I
maybe
don't know.
after the music we could do a quick chat about the end. Maybe. Do you think?
Yeah. I'd
Or
be
is that
I'd be
too
worried about
awkward?
people stumbling. Oh, we could do it off stream, I suppose.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
Let's. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We won't
Yeah.
do that. We'll just
Yeah.
chat. But before we go into that,
Mhm.
can I just say this? I've. This is like a 10 out of 10 for me. I
Mhm.
fucking loved everything about it, including the story. It is the first video game to get a tear out of me ever.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, couldn't
wow.
believe it. Couldn't believe it. I like
Nice.
not even, you know, I've mentioned it loads of times on the show that a game has never actually emotionally caught me like that. This did.
Mhm.
I thought it was as perfect as a game can get. Visually, I thought it was absolutely incredible. I thought the gameplay was just spot on. It never got irritating. It was always fun. I thought the animation's some of the best that I've ever seen in a 2D style game.
Yep.
You know, it's very much a 2D game, and
Just the fucking like when you attack and she puts the sword away.
yeah.
Just
but I'm
even
also
that is
talking-
just there's a little flourish to it, and every time
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's that's cool."
yeah, the enemies as well, the way they react, the
Yeah.
way this game absolutely blew me away on every level. Sitting there with headphones on, with the music up loud. Sometimes you got like this synth bass come through out of nowhere, and it builds and builds, and you think, "Fuck me, this is just sensory overload. I can't believe what I'm watching. I can't believe what I'm hearing." The ending just fucking got me. I didn't see it coming. I'm one of these people that like I'm never able to, you know, work out the twist and all that sort of stuff. And this isn't a twist game, but like there will be people out there going, "You didn't see that coming," and I go, "Well, no, I didn't. And it
See,
the first time I saw the
Yeah.
clue or the first bit, I was like, "That's what it's doing," and it is right. Okay, the game's about primarily it's about the environment and its effect on the planet, right? And it is like smacking you on the face with it. Like there is part of you that's going, "All right, I get it. Pollution's bad. Like, all right." Don't
You
make
see,
me
by
feel
the end,
bad
I
for
wasn't
driving
even
at
sure.
work.
I wasn't even sure if that was the.
Oh,
theme.
that's
Well, yeah,
solidified
it's
it
like
for me.
man, destroying the planet. That's kind of the thing I saw. But
Is
Yeah.
it?
See, I
don't
thought
know,
I thought it was that, but also like growth as well. And
Well,
sort of,
Yes,
apparently, and
absolutely.
this is from interviews with the developers. Apparently, it's supposed to be about parenthood. Which
Well, I've
didn't-
heard-
I mean,
Okay, I've heard. So I've read that interview as well, and there were a few things. It didn't just say parenthood, but I
Right,
don't want to
yeah.
mention the other things
Sure.
because it's spoils stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
look, I fucking everything about it. It reminded. Do you know what it reminded me of? Early indie games where you
Yeah.
go, "Holy shit, you're doing stuff that the main lot aren't." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You've found something here. You're working with emotions. You're working with some beautiful visuals without it being the most realistic looking game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like going back to early like Summer of Arcade stuff where you're going,
Yeah,
"Holy
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
this is so different and special that
And
I
it's-
want to fucking hug it."
and it's like it's different and special, but then it's also like it's the way that everything works together, like kind of perfectly, and it all comes together. And this is why, like Sean, like you saying about Hollow Knight, why it kind of reminded me of elements of that, which also had that, like that sort of the way that everything has just been so perfectly thought of, and like and like sort of put together. I mean, when I first started this, I was not entirely convinced. For the first, what is it? Is it like it's not autumn? I can't remember what's the first area.
Summer you starting.
oh, okay, right, yeah.
Yeah. I was not because I thought it looks really impressive. You know, I thought that looks great. I wasn't that keen on the way the character moved because it just felt a bit too light and a bit too glidey. And also the combat and puzzles felt really light. But then you discover actually that's not the case at all, and it really opens up and becomes something. Like it
Yeah.
is incredible. Like this game,
It leans into it. It
Yeah.
does stuff. It has moments where you get power ups and go, "Oh my god, yes, please." That's what I feel like with this game. I feel like it's an inside a limbo, a
Yeah.
gem, and
Yeah.
genuinely, when it was done, I thought this is up there with one of my favourite games of all time. Like it is. It's like in my top 10 at the the very least. I was blown away by it, absolutely blown away. And I text John, and we very rarely use this with each other, but every now and then we do, and we just go. I just went Neva all timer. You know what I mean? Like you got to play this because I think everyone should give this a go. I can't imagine people not liking it. I know there will be people out there that don't like it. I'd love to talk to them about why, and I think I can't think of a reason. Like it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's got amazing ideas. It looks stunning. It sounds stunning. It plays really well. I cannot imagine someone playing this and going, I didn't really get into it. Do you know what I mean? I
think it's the fact that like it looks and sounds as good as it does, but it's never self-indulgent about it.
And it's
like the player's always first. Like the player's experience is always like, yes, there are bits where you're just traversing through an environment, but there is a pacing to it. There are changes that you see as you're moving. And then, just as you're thinking, okay, I've been going for a while now, something happens. There's a platforming bit, there's a combat bit, or whatever. Like the player's experience is still the main concern, even though it's such an audio-visual spectacle. Sorry, James.
Yeah, sure.
It looks. Yeah, I mean, I keep saying this, but visually, I found it really moving actually to look at because it just looked absolutely incredible.
Did you play Grease?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. The one thing that really got me is that it's got a chapter select.
Yeah.
And if you scroll through that chapter select, there's like, God knows how many chapters there are. What, 5 per season? Maybe 6? Something like that. There's quite a few. And when you just skip through them, every screenshot of each chapter is completely different to the last. Each screenshot is completely unique. And you go, fuck, this game, man, honestly.
There's one bit at the end, like where it's all like that white marbling and then just like flowers and stuff and it just looks so good.
I'll tell you what is interesting is, and I know some people say this is the mark of a really good soundtrack. Have you listened to it outside of the game?
No,
not yet. No,
it's weirdly flat. I found.
Oh really?
Like I loved it playing the game. I was like, I can't wait to go back and listen to this. And I kind of had it on. I was like, this is fine. It's not really hitting the same way. But as I say, there are there's a school of thought. It's like, well, that's what a soundtrack should be like, right? It's supposed to work with everything you're seeing and doing. And so maybe it's one of those because, like I say, I remember loving it when I was playing the game, and then afterwards, not being as fussed about it. Mind you, have you seen the deluxe edition? Comes with a big art book, and
but I was thinking,
how much is it?
I don't know. I'm not sure they've said yet.
I might buy that.
I might have to have a look.
I was thinking throughout though, Sean. I know you said you had like the art book for Greece. I'm like, yeah, I can see why you would want an art book for this.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as high as you, David, on this, but I mean, I think it's very, very, very good. But I think like the story just didn't hit me enough to make it like a real kind of impactful game. I mean, I don't actually agree. Actually, I don't disagree with anything like any of you have said. I think gorgeous visuals. I love the simple combat. There's some great moments we mentioned, like the mirror moment, where you have to kind of think a little bit differently. I liked even like the extra complexity of the platforming. If you wanted to go for the hidden things in each level,
I'd like to know what that gets you. Actually, there are.
If you get 100% of them, yeah.
Apparently
Maybe.
Nothing.
Cool.
Love that. Look at anything.
Yeah, I won't bother then.
Love that. But I think I said to you,
like, quite fun though, in and of themselves. Like I'm not going to go out of my way to seek them out, but like when I came across them, I enjoyed them.
Yeah, because I found that they were like really pushing the limits of all the moves you've learned. Well, no, all the moves you learned up to that point, chain them together in a way to get to the hidden bits. But I think I said to you all.
I don't know if you could say I don't dig. Sorry, just trying to understand. I don't know how you could say I didn't dig the story. There isn't really a story, is there? There's like moments that happen.
Well, I think that might be it. I kind of thought it'd be a stronger like gut punch at points. I don't know. I just thought it'd be stronger. I mean, it didn't annoy me. It was like nice and it carried it along. It wasn't okay, cool. But I thought it'd be more of an emotional experience and more of this and more of that. But yeah, I mean, I think I said to you when I first started playing it, this is exactly the kind of game I need to play right now. And I didn't really think about it, but it's true what you said about it, kind of harking back to the old kind of Xbox Live Arcade or old like indies and stuff. Like it felt It felt like that because there's no snark. There's no like, we actually need to collect these things to do that. There's no. It's probably kind of like a old man view of it, but it's not like kind of like modern things which come in and kind of like get in the way of games or do this or busy work. It literally is just the game it wants to be. It's telling the story. It's like it's got these amazing visuals, a great soundtrack, and it's like one and done in like 4 or 5 hours or however. Probably took me 25 hours. But yeah, I thought it was excellent. Not like a all-time a 10 out of 10, but I really enjoyed myself playing it, and I haven't played Greece. I've got it installed now, so I'm going to play it because I'm interested to see how it compares.
Yeah, definitely still give it a go. Like I think I probably like certainly from gameplay point of view, I definitely preferred Neva, but Greece is 100% worth visiting.
So Greece has no
100%,
combat.
Yeah.
No combat at all. No, it's just
no
Just
combat.
platforming. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and even the platforming's not anywhere near as complicated as it is in this. Yeah, I think it's a shame. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that you didn't dig it as much as I did, but it is.
I
God.
thought
it was
I'm not like
fucking
I thought it was
I
shit.
fucking love it.
I just like I'm very close to where you are. Just there was just one element of it.
Yeah, if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
Whoa, an 8.
Yeah, I thought it was a really excellent game. I'm not saying it's like a stunner all time.
Oh, it's closer to a 6. It's like
Five is average, so 6 is
7,
actually really good.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how you can give it an 8 though, because everything it does, it excels at. And apart from maybe it didn't have a narrative that you hoped for, how is that an 8?
It just is in my rating. It's an excellent game. It's just not. I'm
Your
not.
rating's shit.
Everyone has different opinions. You think it's a 10. I think it's an 8.
It's a 10.
I don't think it's a 10. Well, I mean, I don't think it's a 10.
I think it's a 9. How about that?
James?
It's a 10.
9.5, not an average.
Ooh.
Oh, all right. All right.
Pick it up, play it. You'll love it. Right,
I mean, I will say, like, how much did you say it was? Like 15 or 20 quid. I mean, I personally would. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I just got like credit on CD keys, wherever I got it. But I thought it was worth it because it's a great experience. Like, it may only be short, but I would rather pay that money for a great experience that I really, really enjoy and means something than pay less for longer. I don't know. It felt right for me value wise and the art and all the things that went into it. I think it was fine. Value for me,
I got a code, so I can't really comment on it.
Oh, that's why you give it a 10.
I would completely
Like James with his
understand
magazine.
why people would say that it's not worth 20 quid. I would get that. I paid 20 quid for this game and it's over in 3.5 hours is, I think, an acceptable criticism.
I don't know.
But then that's like going to cinema. I think someone else made a similar reference in the chat. But I think personally it was 20 quid well spent, great experience. And
Tell you what though, I'd love to know. I played this on PS5. I'd love to know what this plays like on the Switch because it is out on the Switch, isn't it?
I don't even want to think about it.
I hear laggy at points. I played PS5 as well, and it was totally fine.
Well, it is old, like it doesn't drop a frame on the PS5. It's nuts. Like it's so smooth. And that is part of the experience as well, because if that was fucking hitching, it would proper pull you out of the experience.
Would, yeah.
But the thing is, I've been so
Switch.
bloody modern console pilled that I went straight into settings. So is there performance or is there graphics mode? There isn't.
120 FPS.
There isn't. It's just the game is what the game is, and it's great. Not 10.
Should I do my hardware review?
Oh yeah.
David's
So,
hardware review.
I got MetaQuest 3S.
Fuck off, the old wank,
in the
mate. Grow up.
Why's that? Why
He's
you say
bitter,
that?
isn't
He's surrounded by heads. He's nicked loads of them from that.
Yeah, but
Haven't.
he's
Haven't.
Where's their Vision Pro gone, Matt? Where's the Vision Pro?
Look, I need it for productivity, David.
I'm not disappointed.
I'm just angry.
It's just what I expected, and I think that I think there was part of me that was hoping that it was going to be a little bit more than what I was expecting. But I think when I was ordering this thing, I'm getting what I bought, if you know what I mean. I was looking forward to it arriving, but I was thinking I'm going to be playing mainly Walkabout, mini golf, and
Poker.
The Vegas, the poker.
Vegas
It was called
Infinite.
Vegas Infinite now. And my mate Chet Roivas was saying buy Crisis Brigade 2, and I was like, yeah, this is all right, but it's not as good as like say Super Hot VR or anything like
or
that. you know?
Zombieland. Yeah.
Well,
Oh no,
I
sorry,
don't know.
we're back. I've changed my mind. Sorry.
My review of Hitman is.
Let's not get into that.
No, we can't cover it, Dave. We can't ethically cover it.
Yeah,
I fucking can.
Phew.
And Matt can. In a
Oh, I won't. I won't. I refuse.
listen. I would say, the things that have impressed me are. Remember, I used the Quest 1. The screens were a lot clearer. Like resolution, it's is a lot better.
Yeah, so sorry. So just to clarify, you're going from Quest 1 to this.
Quest 1 to this.
Okay,
yeah.
wow, massive.
Field of Vision's really good. You mentioned it last week, Sean, about battery life. Battery life's a fucking problem, man. Like, it is a problem for these things.
It's tough, isn't it? Because I'm sure that they know statistically most people probably only spend 40, 50 minutes on it per session. But we're power gamers, aren't we, Dave? So
it's not that, though. That's not what the problem is. The problem is I'll use it once and have to remember to put it on charge.
Yeah,
and it slowly drains itself doing updates and stuff, I assume.
Well, there's that, and also the fact that when you use it once, you're down to about 30-40%, and then you'll go and play another round of golf, and halfway through it comes up, your batteries run out, and it's not brilliant to sort of plug in and with that sort of stuff. It's especially with the cable you get with it is so short that you just kind of think this has not been made to use on
this shouldn't be the solution, but head strap with a battery.
Get into it. So there's
but even on the Quest 3, I mean, it's like the battery life isn't. It's the same. It's not great. You mean you do
that's
like
right.
2 hours and better charge it. So it's not. This isn't a 3S problem. It's just generally where we are with battery life and VR headsets currently.
Yeah, it's really bad, and it's really frustrating, and it's noticeable. So when I'm using it regularly, and thinking back that when we were playing the Quest the first time, a lot of it was, do you want to play a game of poker? Yeah. Oh, I haven't charged it. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake,
still there.
And that problem is still there, and it's a bit frustrating.
You do have to prep, before.
It's not a problem with PSVR 2, but it's no game, so.
Those are Quest ports, James. Me mind up.
The other thing that I'm getting to is, the strap is shit. Like, it's mental that the Quest 1 had a better strap than the Quest 3 does. Do you know
And
what
Quest,
I mean?
it's been shit since they changed on Quest 2.
Well, this is, remember when I got the Quest 3, it was weirdly disappointing because part of me was like, well, I had prescription lenses for my Quest 2, which they no longer fit, and I had a really nice strap for the Quest 2, which doesn't fit the 3. So I was like, it's a better headset, but also in many ways it was worse, right? So,
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
Chet sent me a link and said, get this headset. Not only is it way more comfortable, he says it's a game changer. It's way more comfortable. And the strap, and it has a battery pack on the back, so it extends.
Which one was it?
Of you. Let me find out. Sorry, I forgot you care.
So mine's a Bobo VR one.
But Bobo is the one to get, for sure.
Yeah, decent.
Bobo, right? So the one he got, he pointed me from Bobo VR. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Bobo VR M3.
That's the one everyone gets.
It's £60 though.
It is, but it comes with one or two battery packs.
That comes with.
Regardless, it's the comfiest. It's the best one. It's
comfortable with MetaQuest 3S, magnetic power bank, battery pack head strap. It doesn't say two.
It does feel incredibly cool when you fucking slam it in and the because obviously it magnetizes you and makes a little beeping noise.
Yeah, but a few years, everyone's like, but go to VR cover, get like the VR cover straps, get the VR cover, head straps and stuff. But now everyone's just get that. It's the best one. It looks cool. Does the job.
Right, but £60.
It is, but unfortunately, you're having to pay the money that Meta refused to pay by supplying a shit strap, and so unfortunately, we're now having to take the brunt of the cost on. But it makes it a lot better and a lot easier.
Well,
are you
thinking about it?
Do you wear your glasses with it, Dave?
No.
Yeah. You're farsighted, aren't you? Not short-sighted, is that right?
I don't really know.
Okay.
Well, what can you see? Nothing.
I usually use them for just looking at screens at work, basically.
Right.
But yeah, I think I am. You fucking laughing at?
I saw your face there, Matt.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that was not where I thought you were going. I was like, do I say it?
It's because it was the polls, David. You went.
Yeah.
It's like, I used to mostly use them for looking at
At,
work.
yeah.
What was the joke? Boobs.
I thought you were going to say nudie ladies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell! Thank God you didn't say it.
I didn't.
James would have got a laugh though. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really need them for VR. It's fine. The one thing that really has disappointed me is that it is very limited as to like the range of that where that headset sits and how clear
right.
you can see the screen. Like
Well, yeah, because on the 3S, like, there's only 3 levels of IPD adjustment, isn't there?
There's
Whereas the other one,
there's
it's
that, and
loads.
also it's move it up and down half an inch, and it's blurry. You can't see it. You've really got to find that sweet spot. And with that
You'll
strap,
find
that
with
makes it even harder.
So have you got the better head strap now, or have you ordered it?
No, it's £60. We've been through this. I'm not so sure that I want to spend £60 on a strap.
Fine.
But have you ordered it, David?
Yeah, order it now. It's also better weight distribution. You're probably less likely
Well, I
to
was
get
going to
headaches.
say, yeah,
You
with
want
a
to pay
better
longer.
head strap, that tends to eliminate that, the headset slipping half an inch.
It'll lock it in the right place
and-
for longer.
yeah.
Just
We'll
get it.
see.
Just order it now.
Having said all that, my word, is it good fun to play Walkabout Mini Golf and Vegas Infinite all over again.
Still waiting for my invite, Dave.
Well, I don't know if you'll get on with my crowd. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry.
I don't want us
Your
being
real friends.
picked up in saying the
cool
wrong
boys.
mispronounces. Like, yes, you could join us whenever you want, Sean.
That's fine, I don't want
Obviously,
to. It's fine.
well, don't then.
Wankers.
The Wallace and Gromit level on Walkabout Mini Golf is fucking special. I love
good,
it
isn't
so
it?
much. It is so well done, and the first time you look down on the town, you realise how much effort's been put into that fucking course, and it is £2.99.
Yep.
I spent a total of £38 on Walkabout Mini Golf DLC. When the
Could have got half
thing
a
goes.
strap for that.
half a strap. Look, it's amazing, right? And the pass-through stuff is great. It's not as clear as I thought it was going to be. I must admit, I was like, I know this is really grainy and really warped in places. You can
I don't know what the difference is between the 3 and the 3S. I can use my phone with the headset on,
yes, I can
But-
use my phone.
but I have to sort of hold it in the right place
Yes,
sometimes.
it's
Yeah,
exactly-
there's weird
Have you got a
warping.
free-
Yeah.
Have you got a free then?
yeah.
So it's exactly the same by the sounds of it, and from what I've heard, it's very, very similar. The pass-through stuff. I do have a problem with lots of my friends going, "You should really try this. You should really try this game," and then I try it and go, "It's okay."
It's so frustrating because I get that, right? Because as in your friends, not you, because because not everyone has a VR headset, right? And even the people who do have it don't necessarily use it all the time. So the amount of times I'll be like, "Oh my god, look, this game looks really good. It's just come out. It's 20 quid," and everyone's like, "Eh." I'm like,
Yeah.
like it's really frustrating sometimes. But
Yeah,
obviously, I get it because we might only spend one evening on it and be like, "Yeah, that was wicked," and then never play it again.
Yeah,
It just
that's it,
seems to
isn't
be
it?
how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, that's it. The thing that made me laugh is that my friends that were saying, "Get this, get that," and I said, "Get Walkabout Mini Golf," and it was like the games that I played, like Crisis Brigade 2. I was like, yeah, it's all right, I guess. Yeah, it was a little bit like being on Time Crisis in VR. I suppose that's pretty cool. And then them launching Walkabout Mini Golf and going, oh right, this is incredible, isn't it? Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it certainly is. Look, I'm a big fan of those two games, and it's worth it to get back into those like quite regularly. I just am slightly disappointed that it isn't a bigger leap over that original headset. And I mean, don't get me wrong, quality of life stuff, it's incredible. You turn it on, you're within the fucking game space in no time. Assessing the fucking play space around you, you don't have to draw that big line around you and hope that it'll just. And some of the pass through stuff it does is pretty cool. And I got to say, Vegas Infinite is some of the. Honestly, I genuinely think it's fucking genius. I cannot believe how much work they've put into it. And interestingly enough, they've brought out a Steam version of it, so you can play on a flat screen.
Oh,
you
right,
don't have
okay.
to play in VR now. But the amount of work and effort that's been put into that is incredible. One of the best things I've seen with this headset that obviously I couldn't do with the last is I was in playing a game of poker, and I was in like that. I think we were in the sort of Western bar, and you're sitting there and you're chatting away and you're having fun. And I look over at my watch, and it's got the mute button. It's got the so mute your microphone, mute all players, and then there was another button, and it was like a VR headset, and I was like, okay, what's that do? And you hold it down, and it blew my mind because the bar disappears, the Western bar disappears, the table remains, everyone remains in their seats, and you're in your front room, and the poker table is in your front room. So it's using pass-through and the game together. And I was like, what a fucking fantastic implementation of this. So now I don't have to worry about people coming in a room. I can see what's around me. I can pick up a bottle of beer and drink that and put it back on the table without having to lift my headset or anything like that. It's sitting in the room with me. And I was like blown away by that. I thought that sort of stuff is brilliant. I am quite looking forward to checking out the Batman game that's coming out.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
that's
looking
like
forward
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to because that comes free with a headset. I'm not looking forward to the.
I think it'll be
inevitable bit
Thursday,
where
won't it?
Joker goes up in my face out of nowhere, because that's what those games do, and I've never seen that as a form of entertainment. What I'm saying is, if you were bored by VR back when the Quest 1 came out, this is not going to change your opinion. But if you enjoyed your time on VR and you wanted to give it a go again, this is an excellent way of doing so without spending 450 quid on a really expensive headset, But just be prepared, because there are things that you will want to buy in addition to the headset, I think, to take full advantage of it. So that is Dave's hardware review.
I reckon the price point is that. I reckon this will do all right for Christmas.
Oh,
I mean,
think
well,
you're
it was
probably
number
right,
one
yeah.
on Amazon, wasn't it, already?
Oh, was it
Like, or
already?
number two in
Yeah, I think you're
gaming.
probably
It's,
right.
yeah, it's good very well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
And yeah, I mean, like, loaded Vegas in Infinite, and I got, hey, welcome to our Quest 3S users. Well, welcome to the world of Infinite. Here's all these bonuses. They
Nice.
know that it's going to have an impact on those
Yeah,
numbers,
yeah.
and they're doing what they can to sort of appeal to that. And then the last game I played this week, I've only played this briefly, so I can't talk about it too much, but Undisputed, which is the boxing game. Another code sent over as a heads up to our listeners.
10 out of 10 incoming.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I like it's not fair to even pass judgment on it yet. I've played one game where I was Usyk against Tyson Fury. Usyk is probably my favourite boxer at the moment, and I really hope he beats Fury again at the end of the year. I love him so much. And I started the career mode, and my impression so far is it doesn't look that great, and I'm finding it less intuitive than I did Fight Night. However, it feels like I've got a lot to learn before I properly judge it for its representation of boxing. You've been playing this as well, James, right?
I have. I mean, I've only played it. I've played about 2 hours, I think, of it so far, and it's a bit of an odd one, to be honest. Because I mean, the last boxing game that I properly played was probably Rocky on the GameCube, so that was a very long time ago.
Did you not play? You must have played the Fight Night games.
No, I never played any of the Fight Night games,
Oh,
but
those games were so fucking good, man. They were brilliant.
but this feels worse than Rocky on the GameCube to me. Like in terms,
Really?
yeah, like in terms of. Now, what I mean by that
The
is,
comparison I never wanted.
yeah, it's like the problem with it that I've had so far. But again, I'm not that far in, because yeah, I can't really say too much about it. But I mean,
Piss off! I remember Rocky on the GameCube. That was shit.
it was
Don't
not
go down.
shit. Fuck off was that shit. That was a great game. Like Rocky
It
on the
wasn't a
GameCube.
great game.
It was really good. I love that game.
Rocky on
It
the
was great.
GameCube.
Rocky on the GameCube.
It's weird that it was actually called Rocky on the GameCube. Rocky on the GameCube. Sorry, go on.
Also available on other consoles. But yeah, it was very good. I played the GameCube. But I mean, this visually, this doesn't look brilliant. And I wonder whether that was a Series S thing, whether that was the reason. But if you're saying on the X, it's
Stop
also
having a
not.
go
No,
at
and I
the
think
Series
that
S.
was
God,
a little bit
it's any
disappointing,
opportunity,
right?
isn't it? Slagging off
Hates it.
this, yes.
It's a little bit disappointing because one of the appeals of Fight Night was, at the time, it looked unbelievable. It just looked so good, and you don't get that impact from this. It doesn't have
No,
that
because
sort of
the way the characters move is really odd as well sometimes, and like the way that they like guard and stuff is like I'm sure I took a screenshot at one point. I mean, what's annoying here, right, is I can't show you because this is obviously a podcast. I can't. I mean, if I do it on the screen, there was one point where one of the characters was guarded, he was sort of going like
Yeah, no,
that.
that's-
And but he had like his arm like twisted up as well. It looked very
Oh, right,
strange.
okay, there
It
was
was
some
it
sort
was
Well, in fairness, Fight Night had that as well because the physics was so, it was trying to be so realistic that you sometimes got your arm tangled up with the other boxer and you moved away and their arm had to.
Do you know what game didn't have that, David?
Rocky
on the GameCube.
Rocky on the GameCube. Good point. I wouldn't say. Look, I haven't played enough of it, but I cannot wait to. The best thing about the Fight Night games was the career mode, right? And I need to sit down and probably get into the career mode because that's when I'll be able to judge it and say, oh,
Yeah.
actually, it works quite well once you understand all the systems. But I'm unable to say that at the moment.
Because I mean, like the introduction to it is a bit sort of ponderous. Like the way it like shows you,
Yeah.
how to do all the punches
you
and
load
stuff, and
into
it's a sparring like
yeah, it's like
session.
a spot. But this is what's really interesting. So I was speaking to Chet, who is a massive boxing fan. I'm not. I watch the big fights. I follow the sort of heavyweights, like the big ones. I'm looking forward to Usyk Fury and whatever happens after that. But I wouldn't consider myself a boxing fan, right? Chet is the biggest boxing fan I know. He goes, no, you've got to see the undercard. You've got to see the undercard. It's such and such. And he like talks about the history of these fighters, and it tends to be one of the most boring fights you've ever seen. But he's went into it, and he was saying even he said you can tell the developers know their boxing, they've loved their boxing because the sparring match in the tutorial is quite significant or something. It's like two brothers or so. I don't know the history behind it, but he was like, yeah, no, there's loads of shit that only a boxing fan would have like known to have put that in or whatever. So I was interested to hear from him, but yeah, no, that intro isn't fantastic, is it? It's a lot of text coming up saying you can block 3 times. You know, it's that sort of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, it's like, and it's funny because like aside from Rocky on the GameCube, one of the other like games I played recently that did this was Lost Judgment. Yeah, there's a whole boxing like part of that game which is really very good actually, because of the way it introduces the combat mechanics is really sort of intuitive and really interesting. It doesn't do that whole sort of like you said, now press A and R after you've blocked a punch and then do that 5 times and then do the next one. It was a bit, but then maybe you're right, maybe I need to play some of the career mode to get an idea of where I stand with this, I think.
Yep, I didn't get into Fight Night until I properly got into the career mode, and that's when you really get into the it's that whole build up, isn't it? And I mean that's what Fight Night did so well, that you created your little character and you start off in a gym and you're doing 3 rounds
just like Rocky
fights.
You did that on that as well.
On the GameCube.
On what platform?
It's that you start with 3 rounds with the headgear on, and then you build up, and then all of a sudden like you buy a new trainer or you're hiring new trainers, and suddenly you're at like these big arenas, and everyone's talking about you, and you're trying to win a belt. It nailed that stuff, and if this game manages to do that, then I'm all about it. Yeah, I am all about it. And that's what I've been playing. I think we've covered everyone except for Shawn, who has his
Shawn,
yearly.
who needs a quick break because his dog's about to do a shit, I think.
Let's do a quick break.
Do it on camera.
Just grab the.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a drink.
Rock on a GameCube then, James.
It was very good. Did you ever play it, Matt?
No, I don't believe I did. Game No. Oh god, that cover though. Fucking, I do remember that.
I know. It was.
No, I don't believe I did, but oh, yeah,
I
that
love that
cover.
game. It was good. It was a good game.
My word.
Genuinely.
No, I mostly played Animal Crossing, and what else? Took a few I mean, I had that at uni, so it's just the essentials of Animal Crossing instead of doing my course.
Rocky on the GameCube.
God, I'm just looking at. Do you remember those GameCube discs? They were so tiny, weren't they?
They were
That was-
microscopic, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were little ones, weren't they? You used to be able to get CDs like that as well.
You can still find
Yeah.
them.
That's true.
Singles. Do you remember when? Who's that band that thought they were amazing and instead of releasing a CD, released an MP3 drive, little USB key?
But loads of them did that, I
Who
bet.
were they? No, it wasn't. It was someone did it first, and they were like I bought it.
Oh, really?
Single. USB single. Band, maybe. Oh, I'll recognise it. Band release single on USB drive. I will know at the moment I see it. It was before that.
Do you reckon I've got time to get some milk?
Yes.
Not from a cow, but probably from the fridge, yeah.
That kind of thing.
Milk
Oh,
Grace
does
back.
anyone know the answer to this? I'd love to know the answer. I can see it in my head. I just can't remember the band's name. They were kind of an electronic band. Rock band.
So
Keen.
an album on like a memory.
Keen did it first, apparently.
Okay. Keen. Oh, well, I mean, it says here that White Stripes released Icky Thump
No.
on USB.
Not White Stripes. Icky Thump, did they really?
Go on to this.
I've got the special.
Matchbox
double
20
vinyl
did it.
of that. No.
Hello.
Hello. Sean, you'll know this.
Go on.
Which band released their album on USB stick instead of a CD?
Single.
Oh fuck.
No, so
dunno.
Keen, Bare Naked Ladies, Robbie Williams, White Stripes, Matchbox 20, Kanye West. No, there was someone else.
Chase
There were-
Nova.
Ah, this is gonna kill me. Not Chemical Brothers, no.
But it's electronic like that, yeah?
Yes, but they weren't as big as the Chemical Brothers. And the cover was like pink, black. It was like graffiti, and oh god, it's gonna kill me.
I don't remember. Sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah, I need
I was thinking
some-
Daft Punk, but no. Vaguely related to this, they've announced today that Alien Romulus is coming out on VHS,
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow.
which will be banging.
Really?
I like that movie. No, but just like put it on your shelf, innit?
Yeah, I suppose.
Bonfonkin Seas, great shout, Chris. David, is that the answer?
Fun Kemp sees no.
Fuck. I liked Alien Romulus, Shy. I thought it was good.
It was alright.
I know not everyone liked the acid bit in Zero G, but I thought that thing was cool as fuck. I liked it. It's a good film.
There was just one bit of that film that ruined things slightly. For
Oh
me.
yes, I know exactly what you mean, that bit. But yeah, it went too far in the old fan service. But yeah, I
What
thought it
else?
was good.
Alien Romulus.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't offensive. I saw Terrifier 3 yesterday. And any of you aware of the Terrifier? This is a bonus show material. We should probably say this, but
It wasn't Aphex Twins, no. Oh, that's really gonna fucking wind me.
this
up.
show could not go on without David knowing.
Nope. Apex Twins. I didn't. They're not that big. It wasn't that big of a band. It was more niche than that.
Is it status quo?
Is it?
Rocking all over the world.
Is
You
it
know what's really
Ghostbusters
funny?
Don't know
When
the
Mill
quote.
win, which is rare, they play Status Quo at the end. I think as a piss take.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is watching a load of Cockneys, like 10,000 Cockneys singing, not knowing the vast majority of that word, that song. Like they don't know the words to the song. So it's how's it go? Here we are and here we are and here we go. Here we go, rocking all over the world. It's so funny every time.
Was it Hadouken?
I think it might be.
Oh.
Great.
Not here to please you. Mixtape.
Hadouken single USB. I think it might be Hadouken. Images. Yes, it was, Matt. Well done. It was that
Well done.
one.
Yes,
It was
that's
this
a
one.
point.
I had it, yes.
That's a point in the predictions.
Mixtape, not here to please you. Yeah, I had that. I had that. Where did you get that? How did you find that out?
Just remember. No, I just googled and found it. Found it on Drowned in Sound from a post in their forums from October 2007.
Holy shit, 2007.
Because it was EMI. EMI was the studio, and they were doing Pink Floyd on that, Keane, Kanye West, Rihanna, Amy
Yeah, so
Winehouse.
I got that single in Milton Keynes. So it would have been 2007, yeah. Holy shit.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, cheers, Matt. No, genuinely, that's really fucking cool. I've probably got it somewhere.
It's probably
'Cause
worth
I remember
£7-8 now, I reckon.
it's £9 on Amazon.
It's £9 on Amazon.
Well, mama.
Oh, yeah, Amazon, yeah. Okay, then. Right, okay.
So
Where
yeah,
are we?
let's go.
Rocky on the GameCube.
So that's so that's what we've been playing. I think that covers myself, Matt, and James. But Shawn, you've got your now regular feature on the show, Steam Next Fest.
It is getting
Now-
a bit silly. The old.
How many
Steam
times
Next
I do
Fest.
this a year?
Well, I've lost count.
Is
to
it
be honest.
quarterly now?
I think it's quarterly, and
Really?
and
I
they
thought it was
they
yearly.
appear to like. I feel like they've given up on curating it now as well. So it used to be like you would load it up and it's like here's some like there's loads of demos, but here's like some recommended stuff. Some stuff recommended based on what you already play, but also just some featured stuff that presumably someone at Steam has picked out. They don't do that anymore, right? So it recommends stuff based on what you've played, but then apparently there's over like 3,000 demos in this Steam Next Fest. So discoverability is just a fucking nightmare. What's Matt grinning at?
Sorry, I stupidly opened our WhatsApp chat and I saw that picture of that dog and it made me laugh. It's got the eyes of that first Sonic version, isn't it?
Hate that dog. Look at it.
Remember what I said? An uncle turning up to a fancy dress party and realizing it wasn't a fancy dress party. It's the perfect description. God.
So I mean I've played like 5 demos or something, so I've not even scratched the surface, but whatever. Citizen Sleeper 2, there's a demo of that.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Surprise, I really like it. It's in many ways it is more of the same. However, what's really cool is the mechanics have shifted in that in this one, you're a sleeper who has been essentially cured of their need to use, that medicine that you need to keep your body going in the first game. So that's gone. But there's other problems. One being that you've lost your memory, right, as a result of this procedure. Like you were being backed up into something else, and the procedure was interrupted, right? But it's really cool because you're traveling with this guy who you knew really well and who knows you really well, but your memories are gone, right? And the writing is subtle and deft enough that you really get that sense of like you were traveling with this guy who's presumably your fucking best mate in the world, but he's kind of obviously gutted and also quite frustrated because he'll be like, no, remember when yeah, okay. It's really, really well written. And what is cool is that you're now in charge of your own ship, so most of the demo takes place on this one sort of small station, but you take jobs and then you go out on jobs and you choose which crew members to take with you depending on their abilities and stuff, or maybe just whether or not you like them. It's really fucking interesting. So yeah, very excited.
When's it out?
I think it's saying early 2025. I don't think they've specified.
Why did you play the
beyond
demo?
that. There was part of me that was like, I'm gonna have to repeat all of this.
But there's also, isn't there like
Waiting for the main game.
Look, I guess I understand why you did. Like, there's that thing about being excited about a game, but I think I've got to the point now where if I know I'm going to buy a game and I'm excited for it, like know that this is a no-brainer that you're buying this game, right? So like, I don't know. I just kind of feel, aren't you just robbing yourself of that experience a little bit?
Yeah, you're right. But I was just too excited, I think.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's the answer. And I
was,
like that's totally understandable.
A few months ago, you remember I talked about the Blueprints demo, and I was saying it's one of those demos where I played like half an hour of it, and I was like, this is too good. I want to wait now for the game. Like, I'm not going to play any more of the demo because I just feel like just want to play the full thing. What else? 30 Birds. This is the one, you might have seen it on the showcase. I can't remember, but it's very
Did everyone
striking.
just look at Matt then when
I,
you said
I
the
didn't
name
say a
of
single
that,
thing.
yeah,
She's going
you were
about Matt's
thinking links.
life.
You were thinking.
I was thinking there's lots of things I could have said there.
So this is the one where it's a sort of Persian-inspired sort of 2D sort of story-based puzzle
Yes.
game, I guess. And it's set in Lantern City, where everything you do takes place on the sides of these lanterns, and it's very, very cool the way it works, because obviously any bit of the city you are running around like this one particular lantern, but then like as you go into an interior space, the camera then pans over and you're on like a different lantern, and it's just really, really beautifully done. That would have been enough, but the dialogue's quite funny and charming, which I wasn't expecting for some reason. Like it's, even though it's this very sort of fantastical, bizarre setting, everyone talks sort of quite matter-of-factly. It's quite funny. There appears to be regular sections where like you'll meet someone who has like a little musical instrument that's just really fucking weird, and you'll play on it for a bit, and that progresses the story. There's like one of them where it's like the instrument is that it's got a frog sat on it, and you kind of pull his tongue out and rub it over different bits of the instrument to make different. It's just, yeah, like it's fun. You know, those bits are like, yeah, that was like 2-3 minutes of fun. You probably wouldn't get any more enjoyment out of it, but you don't have to. You know, it's just little diversions. And there's like puzzles where you're trying to get this bird out of a cage, but it's got a magic seal on it, and there's like symbol-based puzzles, stuff like that. Really, really enjoyed it. I was really
Yeah, I've
pleasant.
just
Like,
watched the trailer on Steam. It looks absolutely amazing.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
colours.
looking at it now. That like I really like the art style.
The fact it goes from 2D, you kind of turn the lantern around, it's like 3D. Yeah, this
Yeah.
looks great.
really, really cool.
Is this PC only at the moment? Do we know?
I don't know. I mean, I played it with a gamepad, so it's definitely no reason why they couldn't port it, I guess. But yeah, really good. Lonely Mountains Snow Riders, which is obviously the sequel to Lonely Mountains Downhill, but this time you are skiing, and
Hey, yeah,
somewhat
I'm looking
contrary
forward
to the
this.
title, it's multiplayer. Like you can play with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, it is in many ways more of the same, but obviously the movement mechanics are slightly different. You're encouraged to do stunts mid-air, but you've got to make sure you time it right, because if you're landing slightly off, you will definitely end up on your ass.
Yeah, you'll break your wrist, and you
Break your wrist. If you're
pins.
particularly bad at it.
Yeah.
But he stopped listening.
He wasn't listening.
No.
Me, sorry, I was googling the other one. You know, like because this one you loved, didn't you? And I loved. What's that bike game I loved?
Oh, you
There's
like
also,
Descenders.
Yeah,
Yeah. But then the sequel to that looks
Yeah.
sick as well. So
but that's
most
also multiplayer
one-sided-
snowboarding.
The most one-sided argument I've ever heard. Literally, no one was on your side with that one, Matt.
What? Loads of people were,
Oh,
weren't they?
no, Descenders is good.
Yeah,
Like,
Descenders is great.
Yeah. Did really
But it's
well.
just funny that Descenders is also making a sequel where it's also multiplayer and snowboarding and other things. It's weird how those things work out.
So yeah, really enjoyed that. Played the demo of Keep Driving. This was a really interesting one. So this is an RPG where you're a kid late teens, in the early noughties, and it's like a management sim / RPG, and then it's basically like, right, you're going to your friend's house to play video games. You've got like 4 days to get there, and so you don't like control the car, right? You kind of set off, you plan your route, you set off, and then like events happen along the way. So it might be like you get stuck behind a tractor, right, or something like that, and then it goes into this weird sort of turn-based, almost like battle system, in that like
Well, I've checked out.
No,
I saw this, Sean. I saw this. This looks fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
Honestly.
again, watching a trailer on this looks awesome.
really good.
And it
It's
had
really
a whole
good.
thing where you can change the CD as well, and it's like,
Mate, the music is fucking sick. It's all like, so the developers are Swedish, I think, and yeah, basically all the music is just Swedish indie bands that they really like. And it's great.
I
It's
thought
like
this
because
looked fucking brilliant. It's,
it's because even though it's got this turn-based stuff and the management stuff
Jesus
and what have you,
Christ.
it's amazing how it sells. Like, to me, it felt really nostalgic, even though I wasn't driving when I was that age. Just it properly sells that the nostalgia for that age, where it's like you've got a bit of freedom and a lot of time, and that's fine. Like, you've got 4 days to drive to your friend's house to play video games. Do you know what I mean? It just, like, properly got me. Like, even though I say I wasn't driving at that age, and because I didn't bother until I was like in my late 20s. But
No,
it's
but
just
you remember cars though, don't you? I remember when cars used to feel like literally you were in a tin box, and you were just going, "This is if you go any faster, it's gonna fall
start
apart."
rattling.
And that seems to have the same feeling. Around this game.
Yeah, so it's just like as you're driving, you can pick up hitchhikers who have got like their own abilities, but they've got somewhere they need to go, and you can drop them off. You can like pick up part-time work. You can do deliveries. You can, you're sort of managing the car as well. You're getting upgrades for it. Managing like yourself. Obviously, you're getting tired. You're getting cold or whatever, and like so you got to make sure you've got like aspirin and food and shit like that. It's just it was really satisfying. Like saying the music was a really pleasant surprise. Really fucking enjoyed that. Last one, Nights in Tight Spaces, which, full disclosure, we are friends with Lindy, who works for the developers. But before she worked there, I really enjoyed Fights in Tight Spaces. So this is the sequel to that, where it's all medieval themed. Obviously, the first game being, you were a secret agent, but it was this turn-based, sort of tile-based combat where all you had a hand of cards, but they were all hand-to-hand combat moves, right? And they all sort of needed you to be in certain positions or whatever. There's a lot of sort of maneuvering around, trying to set up decent combos and stuff. So this takes that, puts it in a medieval setting, so it's quite cool because now you're fighting armies of skeletons and shit. Really cool art style, really like nice sort of comic book sort of style. What's interesting about it is that you have multiple characters now on the field at any one time. But instead of that just being like another character that also gets a turn and has its own hand of cards, they all work off the same deck of cards. But some of the cards can be used by all of your characters, whereas some are character specific. And you still you don't get like extra turns for the other characters as well. You still just have the 5 cards, and then you distribute them to the however many characters you've got. But if you can get them positioned in the right places near each other, you can then set off like amazing combos and stuff. So it's quite cool that it's not just instantly, oh well, this is loads easier because I've got 3 characters. Like you still have to really work for like the interesting combos and stuff. But when you do it, it feels fucking great. So yeah, really excited to play more of that. That is it. I've got about another 10 demos downloaded. I've not even had a chance to look at yet.
Yeah, they all sound great.
But yeah,
They all sound good.
It's been
Game's
good.
good this year, I think.
Yeah,
Everyone was
good.
talking
The
about
old
last
video
year.
games.
I mean, I'm looking at a list of games I've got down as my favourite games of the year, and they're all fucking incredible. I'm enjoying this year for gaming, and that's coming from a place where I think I went through a lull this year as well, where I was kind of like, not too sure, but now I'm playing some games that are absolutely blowing me away. It's good, isn't it? I like those games. What does he say? I'm so addicted to games. Questions, Sean. Let's get some questions from our listeners.
Speaking of games, there's a new Life is Strange out next week.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh man, and Call of Duty. It's like the perfect combination.
and
Sweet
that new
and
Sonic,
sour.
that new Sonic
both
X Shadow,
worlds.
that new Sonic Shadow game's got good reviews as well. I've seen
Well,
that.
it was funny because James already got it.
I've not already got it.
I was
But he will
thinking
do.
of
It's
shut up,
reviewed
you.
well.
I'm not going to get it.
Shut
got
up, you,
nines.
You're getting it. You'll get it. I was thinking about that when you look at. I wish Citizen Sleeper 2 did that thing that Life is Strange 2 did, and said, "Yeah, we're releasing a demo, but it's like a little completely independent story, just a very short independent story to give you a taste of what the themes and everything." Because what was it, Captain
Spirit.
Captain
Spirit. God, that was so fucking good.
And in no way did it feel like a sort of side project. Like it was really good.
Really well done. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm up for more Life is Strange. Don't worry about that.
Speaking of, well, we've had a message from Minnie Caulfield, which is a very good joke. With the release of the new Life is Strange somewhat imminent, are you guys planning a spoiler cast?
We've got to decide what we're going to do a spoiler cast on.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 very similar games. I think it's got to be the Life is Strange one, right?
Wait, what's the?
Do you mean the other one?
the other one from the
the
same
other one's the one from
X
Donuts,
people
right?
and
That's
Human
not
Rage.
coming until next year now anyway.
Yeah,
They-
that's
they
fine.
Oh,
moved
is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm up for doing a Life is Strange spoiler cast.
oh hell
Sure.
yeah, I love a spoiler cast. It's been too long, and this is episodic, isn't it? So
Have you seen the moaning from the fans about this new
Yes,
one?
I have.
Oh,
done.
what?
No,
Probably
I
not
don't
worth
like
getting
the
into
fans.
now.
About
right?
us doing a spoiler cast.
If we're doing a podcast, there's no point getting into it now, especially because we're way over time. Al,
Why?
aka
I do want to know though.
Yeah, I want to
Sean.
know.
No, it's
Okay.
just because from what I can gather, it's because they've released the first 2 episodes early. You know, like if you pay, like you
Oh,
can
yeah.
you can get them
Right.
like sooner. And also, some people aren't very happy with certain aspects of relationships that have been
yeah.
developed.
So
in the game.
basically, because so the game accommodates both both
Yeah.
of the choices from the end of the original Life is Strange.
And this makes a decision.
But this, we can spoil the end of the original Life is Strange, right?
I
Don't
mean-
listen if you. Yeah, go on.
So basically, if you chose the Chloe ending, so it's like, right, okay, so Max, I think it then more than implies that Max was in like a relationship with Chloe, but that it ended, and everyone's like, what? Why? Like, and it's
Oh,
like,
because they're
oh.
telling a fucking story. That's why.
well, this is it, and it's like, oh, you thought the relationship between two people that's based on the massacring an entire town was going to work out. What?
yeah. Especially when that person said, "Please, absolutely do not do
Yeah,
that."
yeah,
thing."
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking bizarre. Anyway,
Stupid.
Whoa! Sean LeBode is in the chat saying I chose the Chloe ending. I stand by
yeah,
it.
Well,
absolute
so-
psychopath.
so did I, and I still stand by it as well.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
expect
that's
it
right.
from you.
Sean
Yeah.
LeBode, you're on James Farley's team. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
You make
Wrong
it
side of history there.
Go on.
Anyway, yeah, spoiler
Mass
cast, yes.
murderers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
So
do it.
when's the game actually fully out?
29th,
Still
I think.
soon, isn't it? Yeah.
29th October.
Right. Al, aka ESTR247, says, "Hi up, lads. I have a question for Dr. Farley. When is he going to revisit Dark Souls 3 and defeat the final boss with complete disregard for the lore? I've been honing my blade and wandering the final area, ready to assist so long that I've completed Baldur's Gate 3, absolute masterpiece, by the way. I can then delete Dark Souls 3 and free up memory space for other games like Bloodborne. Wink, wink. Come on, James. It's nearly spooky season. Keep up the good work, lads. Much love, Al."
I mean, I've been thinking about this, and depending on how I feel on Thursday evening, I'll finish it then. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but you've said that for like 2 months now.
No, because the thing is, I need to get that off my plate now because I can't. Like Thursday evening's the only time I can do it because from Friday I'm going to be not around, and so it'll be ages until I can play again. So Thursday's really the only possible evening. So I'll do it then.
Why
I'll
are
do
you
it
not
then.
around? What do you mean you're not around?
You know what's going on. You know I'm going away.
No, you
Remind
what?
me.
Doesn't want to say it on the show.
Remind me, what's going on?
Yeah.
I've got to go and visit Chen's family.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're having a holiday.
It's not a holiday. I've just got to go there.
It's a fucking holiday, James.
How is it a holiday?
What
I've
are
still
you
got to
leaving
work
the
while
place?
I'm there.
What would
Are
you
you doing the
describe
show?
it as then?
I'd describe it as I'm not gonna. No, I can't describe
Yeah,
it. on here.
Go on. Please describe it.
Look, there's, if I recall correctly, there's there's extended family involved. So maybe we just move on.
Yeah,
And we,
thanks, Sean.
Okay, fine. We will move on. But listeners, just to let you know, it won't affect James. He will be on the show next week. What it does affect are our Patreon listeners that pay to find out that we did the Patreon stream yesterday. We did it yesterday by the time that this episode comes out. Why? Because of James Farley.
Yes, it was my fault. I'm sorry
yeah.
about that.
That's okay. What's up?
Well,
Rodders says, "It sounds like you've got a lot of listeners in Germany, almost enough to justify a live event. Pepperonis are pickled chili peppers where I am in the West. It's a gentle knock on the table rather than a fist pound. Anyway, I've had a request brewing for a long time now, but not written in as it's a request to do some more work. Sean once upon a time did a series of shorts on YouTube on Steam Next Fest recommendations. How easy would it be for you guys to do a short for the games you talk about and what you've been playing? I enjoy talking about games that I consider relatively obscure and realistically I'll never play. And as well as you describe them, I'd love to follow the podcast with watching short clips of each game. Appreciate
Yeah.
y'all."
We've tried many different ways of doing this in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
And it's never been easy enough to just do it.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
especially trying like I really enjoyed doing those shorts, but it's a surprising amount of effort to try and, especially because we do a podcast, we self-edit a bit, or we try to. It might not come across that way always, but to then be like, right, I need to describe this game in 1 minute, and ideally put some jokes in if I can manage it.
Write a script,
Yeah, like it's hard.
And do you remember when we first started doing this show on Twitch, and in the first few weeks we got like footage of the game in the background?
Yeah,
Even
and
that
all
was
that
taking
sort of
like way too much work.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, we're playing the games anyway. Just press
we'll
the
just
record button.
we'll just
What's
record
that?
it
But
and then upload that, and then we'll play that while we're doing the podcast. I mean, it was great.
That
It
was a
looked awesome for the
nightmare.
first few
It
weeks.
did
I was like,
look
this
very
is too
cool,
much.
but yeah, it was way too much. I think if this was
You need a producer for
video
that.
show first and foremost, then it'd be sort of
Well,
worth it. But
You don't need a producer. John Detton said you should really look into getting an editor to come and cut this shit up for you and just put it on YouTube. And he's got a fucking point.
It has.
maybe.
It's
Apparently
cheaper
what?
than you think.
No.
So, maybe
I
it's
feel
that
like
we
our
need to go
YouTube
down.
channel's cursed. Like, just
Why?
the numbers of views. I'm not saying, why aren't we famous? Just for the
But and
for
yet,
for how
Again.
famous we are, which is very. I don't know. I just feel like our YouTube views are weirdly low.
well,
What do you
because
think?
we need to be producing content every day and
Yeah.
different
Yeah,
types of
it's all
content.
about
This
that,
is just
isn't it?
literally like a
Ride the
repository.
algorithm, baby.
Just a
I think
repository
it's
for our
because we
streams.
just export stuff from Twitch. I think YouTube hates us because of that.
Possibly that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wicked! The video we did with Ian Lee, the talks over, has got 2K views. That's good for us, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, it's decent.
It's not good for
Yeah,
Ian Lee, though, is it?
I would definitely love to do, like for more video stuff and YouTube stuff and Twitch stuff and us clips, but it's a lot of work, and we haven't really looked into getting an editor or someone else to do that with us because we like the way we do it, but maybe
We're
we should. I
control
don't know.
freaks is what. I'm
Yeah, and that, yeah. I'm sure it'd
part
be
of it,
better
yeah.
and quicker and easier, and would pay someone they do it and they get the clips, but we
We've
haven't.
got so much going on as well at the moment, aren't we?
Too busy
Fucking crazy.
to get someone else to do our work for us, baby.
Laugh. Oh,
Hola.
Hola.
I love them people. Right. What's
I was only going to read one more question out, but then I realised we've sort of covered it already. It's from Jim Toe. He says, love the show for a long time. Really happy you've not fucking stopped yet. I've been replaying Shadow of the Tomb Raider on the Series X with Xbox One X settings, and even today it's incredible graphically and still plays well. I then realised it's now 6 years since Shadow was released, and yet it took them only 3 years to make it. I was wondering how you feel about the increasing dev time and whether smaller, better-paced games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider are the answer. Sorry for the long lead into the actual question. Thanks again for the show. Yeah, we kind of talked
They're
about
the
this, didn't we?
answer
About
for me.
Yeah, I
They're
love,
the answer for
I love
me.
some games like that.
But everyone wants to aim to be the top games. Everyone wants to aim to be the new Fortnite or the new whatever. They don't want a successful game. They want like a massive hit, and that is why they don't tend to go for those sort of games. They tend to focus on how do we make a games as a service like a never-ending pool of money.
Yeah, like constant revenue and,
Yeah.
Build the game, build a platform, and then add bits, cosmetics, and other ways to monetize the
It
users.
is mental when you think about it. Fortnite is mental. Like Harry's into it at the moment, and all his mates are into it, and you just go, "Fuck!"
Still,
That's been
yeah.
going for years, and people are still piling money into it.
Yeah, and they probably
It's-
still will. I mean, this is what's weird because like you read like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, like I enjoyed that. Wasn't a bad game at all. Another Square Enix game, which every single release that they release is always like, this has not met our expectations.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
really depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Bizarre.
I don't know numbers, but I'm sure there's been reports where it's like actually games like Fortnite, Minecraft, Rocket League, maybe like these are the games that take up like such a massive amount of like game time. It's like the same kind of 5-6 games that have
But that's
hundreds
also
of
why
hours.
it's like kind of foolish at this point. It would appear anyway to keep trying to break into that as well because
Yeah, even Destiny hasn't broken into that, and that's Destiny. It's like, I mean, you got to put a lot of money in. Sony are trying to put a lot of money into it.
like FC 25 or the FC games. You just think you're the same as that, but you're
Yeah, it is a
also
live service
charging
game.
£60 a year.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's fucking mad.
Yeah.
It's wild. It is wild.
But no, I think smaller, better players games are
answered.
great. I love it when I hear it's like 4 hours game time. Hell yeah, that's even that's a struggle sometimes. But yeah, I love that.
Old people like to start and end by the end of the weekend. That's it.
What was that?
What?
We all like to. Sorry, we all like to get from the start to the end of a game by the end of the weekend. Games
Right,
usually come
gotcha.
out on a Friday. Is what was going on in my brain.
Oh, okay, right, okay. It's just like 7 words come out in a
when
different
Monday
order.
starts, it all goes nuts.
We all old people game short weekend.
And that is probably a good indication that it's time to end the show. Matthew, do you want to run us through the socials there, buddy?
Damn straight, champ. Yeah, so we do stream every now and then, really kind of rarely actually these days, but James may be streaming in a Dark Souls 3 this Thursday. Go to twitch.tv/TCGSCO or search TCGS in the app and you'll see our channel. Follow us. If you've got Amazon Prime, a Twitch account, connect your account and give us your free monthly sub. You can't keep it, you gotta give it to someone. Why not give it to us? If you miss the streams live, search TCGS on YouTube and you'll see VODs of the streams. You'll see this podcast in video format if you're into that kind of shit. We're on Patreon, which is patreon.com/TCGS. If you're listening to this live, then we're doing a Patreon stream tomorrow on Tuesday. If you listen to it on Wednesday, then we did it yesterday and you missed
Sorry.
it. But you can still watch it even if you're a Patreon subscriber
They never turn
later.
up live, though, do
Nah,
they?
it's
They
all about
never
the
turn
it's
up
all about
live,
the
you
post
know.
the post live views.
Yeah,
Anyway, what game we playing again?
All you need is help.
That's what we're doing. And again, if you listen to Wednesday and you're a Patreon subscriber at that tier, you can go to our Patreon and you can watch it again later. The website is tcgs.co for links to our amazing Discord community. And I mention it every week, but there's more people in it every day. Loads of great people chatting. So if you want to talk to like-minded gamers in your area, go to our website and find a Discord link. And there's also the store, socials, other podcasts. It's all on there.
Sometimes there's discussions on the Discord. I look at it and I sort of think, oh, maybe they should be doing their own podcast. Actually,
Well, that happened once.
Oh yeah, it did.
We thank you so much for living it. We will catch you. Well, I won't. I'm not here next week. I am moving home, baby, and James might not be here this week because I'm going. I'll be fine.
will be.
I'll be on.
So next week is me and Sean next week. Me and Sean next week.
You'll have one of those little desk mics that you used to get in the 90s. You know, that they want that little stick thing.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes, okay. Here's the news. And you go, oh, here we go.
And then there's piano in the background, and yeah, looking forward to all that shit. Obviously, next time you hear us, probably award winners.
Probably a war.
Hopefully.
You were here at the ground floor before the new lot come in. So, what's this new show?
We should say as well, yeah, so the next, the upcoming bonus show we're going to record in person.
In person.
Touching
Yeah,
each other and
Never thought
everything.
of that.
Yeah.
Trousers off.
Yep.
If we can get
I'm going to
in-
film it.
Yeah, if we can get into the Airbnb, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's all look forward to that. We will catch you on the next one. Thanks for living it. Goodbye.
Off.
I don't know. I was going to do a salute, but then I did the thumbs up.
Oh.
I did the thumbs up on.
Don't do that salute on video, sure.
Is that bad? Is that... Bye.
Okay.